Hello. Hello out there. Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome. Welcome, folks, to the most definitely not overhyped, definitely absolutely legit, 100% real Rapture Watch live stream. I'm your host, okay? The completely straight. Hmm. Definitely not sinfully attracted to men, okay? Brother Timmy Eternal Sunshine with breaking news. Today is the day. It is. Yes, folks, it's the day. You can't argue with God, okay? Yes, folks, the world's about to end again. Get ready for the ultimate celestial whirlwind, folks. Get ready for it. It's coming. Um, I mean, it's been 2,000 years in the making, and this time, this time it is definitely happening. Let me tell you. You can forget about those 7,384 other predictions that didn't pan out. Just forget about those. Okay. This one is solid. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you that. Okay. This one is locked in like your grandmother's Facebook account. Okay. The rapture clock is ticking down to mere minutes, really. We've got less than an hour until the heavens open up and the angels come down in their holy swag. You know they're coming for us, just like those, sweet TikTok dances, except this time it's all praise and fire. Okay. I know, I know. You're sitting there thinking, well, brother Timmy, this isn't the first time someone said the rapture's coming, right? How could a book from like a pre-science era of superstition and illiteracy possibly be a bad source for making predictions? How? How could it? Well, let me tell you something, beloved. All right. The Spirit of the Lord has moved my TikTok feed, and I've seen the signs, and they're all here. All 47 of them. I mean, I know the Bible says no one knows the hour. No one knows the hour, but clearly, it didn't account for social media trends, right? Clearly didn't account for that. I was reading this morning on TikTok some of the good words out there. Jimmy from Iowa posted, "It's happening today. My neighbor's cat is acting strange. End times 2025." Okay. And Sheila from Ohio said, God's posting about the end times on her Snapchat story. Oh, the signs are there, folks. You know it's going to be real. You know it's going to be real. Okay. Remember though, folks, only the chosen are getting raptured today. Okay. So if you're sitting there watching this with a bowl of popcorn and a phone in your hand, or whatever you may be doing, well, get ready to meet the rest of us down here in the tribulation zone, okay? Because clearly we haven't been raptured. It's okay though. It's okay though. You can still get a head start on the locusts and earthquakes. Maybe make a good playlist for when they start coming. Okay. Okay. So just maybe get prepared for that. All right. Always good to be prepared. And don't worry though, you're not alone. This is our Rapture live stream. Updates will be coming your way. All right, with many more infallible prophecies. Okay, many more infallible prophecies. I'm sure will come up during this live stream. Stay tuned as we prepare for the end of the world. Which, just to remind you, I mean, it might have been yesterday, the day before that, etc., or the day before, but this time it is definitely for real. Those other 7,000 plus times it's been predicted. You can ignore that, right? Those were mistakes, but we know for a fact it is today. Okay, okay. Um, well, anyways, grab your robes, grab your holy water, get your pre-rapture snacks ready, okay, and pray that your Wi-Fi holds out. All right. We'll be back with more stuff that is definitely happening today. All right. Um, so remember though, and lastly here, folks, don't let your sins weigh you down. I am no longer a gay man, okay? I saw the light. I'm no longer engaged in sin. All right. Um, Okay, I am now a straight man. Okay. Have faith. And also, don't forget to like the stream if you don't mind. Don't forget to like the stream. Please like the stream. And if you want to contribute to God, you can subscribe. You can subscribe for 90.99 cents a month, okay, or 99 cents a month only. And you get cute little, rather sinful little jester hats next to your names. Okay. But you can do that. You can subscribe for 99 cents a month. And I'll see you in the clouds, folks. Well, let's be honest, you probably won't see me in the clouds. I do prefer warm weather to begin with. And hey, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Okay, folks. Hello. Hello. I am dressed in my religious garb today for the sake to show my pure virginal state, like they make women do when they get married. When like they do, like, so, virginal, clean. Okay, virginal and clean. I have never touched another person. All right. Alan, yes, Alan, I feel like I should become a pastor. I could definitely make more money doing that. I could become rich pretty quickly. All right. But wait, there's more. If you join in the next 30 minutes, you'll get exactly so, Cal. Okay. Jazz Naz, you're right. We need Black Jesus in here, right? Okay. Okay. So, right, Macy, who does giveth the man away, right? Okay. Okay, folks, let me see who's here. Let me see who's here. I just had to get let me Macy, what's the current dowry with inflation? Okay, folks, let me see who's here. I think I saw a super chat come in. Thank you for that. Thank you, Alyssa, for the super chat. I'm not going. Alyssa, you have no choice. Succumb to the will of the Lord. Though, Alyssa, from what I know about you, you're probably not going anyway. Okay. Just, you get to hang out down here with us. Okay. All right, guys, let me see who we have here. I'll put on the jester hat first of all. And I am going to take off this nonsense, but this is the best I could do for a robe. Just a blanket. All right. All right. Okay. There we go. I look like the Pope now, don't I, with my crazy hat? All right. So who do we got? Who do we got here today? We got Louise. Hello, Louise. Welcome, Louise. Doug on the left. Hello, Doug. Jazz Naz. Oh gosh, the whole crew's coming together. Alyssa. Victoria's here. Ooh. All right. Then God's spiting me for that. I know, me too, Doug. I doubt they will be, though, Doug. I doubt they'll be disappointed. I'm sure they'll have justifications for it. Okay. Lee Lane, hello, Lee Lane. Hello, Diego. I know, right? Toy does. Like, I kind of wish there was a Rapture. That'd be a quick way out of all this, wouldn't it? Macy, hello, Macy. SoCal. Sir Bartholomew. I know, right? Okay, I will say though, Sir Bartholomew, you're right. Sir Bartholomew says, I feel like I'm being serenaded by the elves. Love the music from Lord of the Rings. Okay, I do like that choral music I was playing. I actually really like choral music. It's beautiful, but yeah. Okay. Big Braden, hello, Big Braden. Um, uh, okay. I know, right, Macy? Did you like my weird hello? I was trying to sound like a good clergy member. Okay, kind of creepy, kind of welcoming. Not quite sure if they're going to assault you. You know, that kind of clergy member. Okay. Uh, um, yes, you're right, Toy Toy Toy. I'm dressed as Saint Revolt of democracies. Okay. Um, okay. Rain, hello, Rain. I'm at home alone, and this channel is full of atheists. How am I even supposed to know if the rapture actually happens? Rain, I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you. Definitely not wrong this time, right? Definitely not wrong this time. So if you're not raptured yet, Rain, I guess you're a sinner like the rest of us. Okay. Uh, Okay, my cat, Rain. From what I know about you, I'm pretty sure a lot of Christians would consider you a sinner. I feel like you might be in the same boat I am. Okay, my cats keep not all Christians, by the way, folks. Okay, my cats keep jumping on the counter to lick cheese off my plate. That's a sign, Rain. That's a sign. Okay, I know, right, Sir Bartholomew? I don't think they'll ever realize that. Okay, I'm more curious what happens to the atheists. Me too, Drizilla. Right? Actually, Matt Saigai mentioned yesterday maybe the rapture wouldn't be so bad for all of us atheists and sinners, because that sounds like a much more fun planet to live on. Anyway, Yeah, right. Hey, you're right, Alan. Maybe the Trump administration will get raptured. I mean, according to a lot of fundamentalist evangelicals, they're like the pinnacle of religious morality and things like that. But, I don't know. Macy reminds me of a modern kid posting the imagine listening to the exact same song the exact same time as everyone else because they've never heard of radio, right? Yes, Doug, I'm wrapped in a towel. It's not a towel though, Doug. It's a blanket. It is my spiritual blanket. Correct, Alan. Yeah, the correct, Alan. Like when the Aztecs, the Mayans, excuse me, the Mayans predicted the end of the world several times. Okay. Uh, hey, Sir Bartholomew, I would suspect that they don't get PS5s in heaven. So that's we can have that here though. Okay. I'm sorry, Jazz Naz, you're having issues with Twitch today. Sir Bartholomew, I will gladly clip that. I'm no longer a gay man. Gladly. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Drizzle. We can all loot after they're gone. Yeah, you're right. Those other times were the practice routines like you do for disasters, but this isn't a disaster. It's a revelation. Oh, SoCal, you're after my heart. Yes. Okay. Are we doing tithes now? Hey, I would accept tithes, folks. I would accept tithes. Okay, I won't let you read the Bible to see if it mentions that, but hey, you know, you should send me tithes. It'll get you to heaven, okay? Um, Alan, all the proceeds will go to buying a mega church pastor a new yacht, 100%. Okay. Uh, okay, dressed that way, expecting your father to be walking you down the living room, right? uh, um, maybe the rapture did happen, but no one left, right? Hello, Big Braden. Yes, okay. Dolly boy, hello, Dolly boy. Drusilla, Jesus has been edging for 2,000 years. His coming will be magnificent. Ugh, that'll be kind of a mess. Speak about great flood, right, Drusilla? Okay, all right, guys. Uh, yeah, every day for the last year, exactly, Rain, Dally Boy. Okay, guys. All right, thank you for the super chat there, Alyssa. I'm gonna take this shit off. I do have a shirt underneath it. We all get the idea here. I have an image of Jesus on the wall behind me, as you can see, kind of propped up there, to watch all of you and to watch me to make sure I adhere to his teachings, um, or to ignore them, which is what a lot of Christians do. But anyway, okay, so hi, folks. Joshua, yes, we're actually going to be watching Stephen Miller's speech today. Oh, Michael, dear Michael, I don't know if you want to know, okay? Here in America, so Michael asking from Europe, what was this whole rapture thing? Michael, it's like every 5 years or so, sometimes less, some evangelical fundamentalist Protestant Christian in the United States starts claiming that the rapture is about to happen, that the apocalypse is coming. And it's happened about like over 7,000 times, and every time it is not true. But there was another today. There was another. I mean, there were a lot of evangelical fundamentalists today claiming that today was going to be the rapture. So I'm just making a joke about this, Michael. Okay. Uh, okay. Trump was just live with Zelensky. Oh, is that so, Alan? I want to look that out. Yeah, his flock. Okay, Big Braden. Yes, Miller's speech inspired Goebbels, of course. Absolutely, Big Braden. We're gonna watch it here in a bit. Okay, so all right, folks. So what we're gonna do today, okay, now that I've gotten that out of my system. Um, oh, thank you, Alyssa. Okay, Alyssa says, to be fair, I think you're adhering to his teachings more than them. Alyssa, I agree with you. I don't mean to sound self-aggrandizing. I feel like a lot of you are adhering to Jesus's teachings more than many Christians are. Okay, the American Jesus, yeah. There you go, Macy. That's a good way of summarizing it for Michael. Okay. All right. So we got some stuff to do. First of all, I'm going to change the chat goal here. For those of you that are over, I think we only got one person on Twitch right now. That's fine. I'm going to change it to 5. If we get two more, I will do the jester hat. I mean the jester collar, and then if we get 3 more after that, I will do the um uh uh I will do the makeup. Okay, start goal. All right. So Alan, also, Trump spoke for over an hour at the UN conference this morning and talked about how immigration is destroying countries. Um, climate change is a hoax created by evil people. London is enacting Sharia law, and a bunch of lies about China. You know what, Alan? Could you send that to me, Alan, in reactions? Because I'd love to watch that. Maybe after we do the Prageru stuff. Okay. Okay. So, guys, what we're gonna do, all right, is there are some PragerU videos I'm gonna be reacting to live, like I've done before, sort of one of our regular ways of doing things. And of course, so there won't be an official lesson, but as we typically do doing these PragerU videos, me reacting to those videos will sort of be a lesson or like a way of talking about those topics. So we're gonna do that first, partially because I need to upload some more videos to YouTube, and this will be a great way of me doing that while interacting with all of you. Okay, so we're going to do that, and they also have posted some stuff recently that I haven't watched, and I'm very curious to watch it. So we're going to do that, and then we will do. I have some other videos I want to watch that we're not going to be doing like YouTube reactions to, but we will be talking about them, including Stephen Miller's Nazi speech that he gave at the Charlie Kirk remembrance thing, and maybe some other stuff. Okay. Oh, I know, Joshua, right? I know. Okay. So let's get into it. I'm going to pull up. I might need to change some settings here. Um, oh, yep, I definitely need to change some setting here. So this is going to go. Did I do the wait, which one is it? Okay, we'll do this one. So this is going to be the big one. This one is going to be moved to the front. Okay. Okay. So this is how we're gonna do this, folks. Oop, this should be to the front actually. Forgive me, folks. For some reason it didn't save when I did it. Okay. So we're gonna do it this way. I am going to setting it up now so that I can do it live for all of you here. Boop-a-doo-boo, boop-a-doo-boo. There we go. Oh, forgive me, forgive me. There we go. Forgive me. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to be reacting to, oh, thank you, Alyssa. How amazing. You're the best, Alyssa. Okay. 5 subscriptions. So, folks, a bunch of you just got free subscriptions from Alyssa to the channel. Thank you very much for that, Alyssa. I think that is worth me putting on the collar. I'm sure you would all agree. So I will put on the collar. Thank you, Alyssa. And that's actually perfect before we do these reactions. Okay, so let me pull up the PragerU video I'm going to be reacting to. Okay. Okay. So the first one we're going to be reacting to. Okay. Hello, Plant Sunshine. Hello. Okay. Uh, I know, right, Sir Bartholomew? Okay. All right. So, well, the first PragerU video we're going to be reacting to here is, oh my God. Okay. The title of it is Multiculturalism, a Bad Idea. I'm sure this will be utterly unbiased academic examination of the topic. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do is, folks, as we normally do, for those that have been here before, when we have done these live reactions, I have a hell of a time not talking to the chat. If you guys haven't noticed when I'm doing reactions, but when we do these videos, I try to. I will try to. I will not talk to the chat, but I want you all to make a bunch of comments while I'm talking. Okay. Make a bunch of comments. And then after the video ends, I will go into the comments and I'll go through them and we'll talk about it together. But because of that, I will we will do that. Okay, folks, can you see me? Did the other screen not change? Let me see real fast. Forgive me. Yep, yep, yeah, the other scene did yeah, so that's my fault. Let me fix it real fast. It is being bizarre on the other side here. Um, Let me fix it real fast, folks. So if I were to I need to quickly, uh so for people on YouTube, people on Twitch can see it, but, right now people on YouTube can't. I'll fix it. That's an issue with my multi-stream, 'kay? Um, I should be able to fix it pretty quickly, though. Uh, there we go. Alright, can you guys see me now over there on YouTube? My mistakes. Okay, can you all see me now there on YouTube? Just make sure. You guys good over there on YouTube? Just wanna make sure. Good, excellent. Okay, so let's do this, folks. Again, folks, you're gonna have to listen to me do my little spiel in between the videos because so I can clip it later. But as we're watching, feel free, please make comments. I'm gonna be driven crazy not being able to talk to all of you. But let's do this reaction, okay? So I'll start, and let's begin, okay? Oof. All right. So we could do my little intro. Need to get some water here. And I also found that I can do a timestamp. Okay. All right. Let's begin. If you like my content, you can become a member for as little as 99 cents a month and support the channel. You'll also get access to free emojis and a little cute little jester hat next to your name in the live stream. You can also hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of when I go live. Today, we're going to be reacting to a video from Prageru. Prageru is being pushed by the Trump administration to be taught in schools. It is also being considered to replace PBS, our public broadcasting corporation. God help us all. And this video by PragerU is called Multiculturalism, a Bad Idea. That doesn't sound biased at all. That doesn't sound biased at all. All right, so let's take a look. Let's see what they have to say, and we'll watch.
Bad ideas never seem to die. Multiculturalism is one of them. Wait a second, I can hear you saying, multiculturalism is a beautiful idea. The mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, would agree with you. He never tires of saying that diversity is our greatest strength. In Australia, people from all sides of the political spectrum talk proudly of being the most successful multicultural society in the world. In Europe and the US, we are told to celebrate multiculturalism, or else be branded a xenophobe, a racist, or both.
Nope.
And what, after all, is the problem with a society made up of different people all coming together to pull in the same direction?
Right. What's
the
so
answer
bad
is
about
nothing.
that?
But that's not what multiculturalism means.
That's actually exactly what multiculturalism is. Multiculturalism, where you have a number of different cultural groups and stuff within the borders of a nation state. They may have certain cultural beliefs and stuff, but in the end, they're all in one nation, okay? And they're still adhering, like they're still part of that nation. I mean, I don't know what he. Also, by the way, the fact that he quoted the mayor of London, uh, uh, who is a Muslim. That's an odd thing to quote. It's like he wanted to indicate what his name was and wanted to indicate what his ethnic background is by even mentioning that. So we already here have what I would say is some Islamophobia. Um, okay, so all right.
It's not at all about pulling in the same direction. Multiculturalism is about people coming to the West and forming their own communities with their own rules and practices.
Again, there's that language, the West, okay? Like a nice little dog whistle for like white people and things like that. And this, even here, right here, it says forming their own communities with their own rules and practices. Yeah, sometimes people who migrate will form their own communities for the sake of safety because they know each other, they have shared cultural beliefs. But when he says with their own rules and practices, no, still have to follow the same laws as everyone else does. The rules aren't different for ethnic minority groups who live in other countries, okay? And who cares if they have different practices? Who cares, right? As long as they're acting within the laws of a country, like that's okay, all right. And by the way, just look at this, all these like arrows on this screen. just like, look at all these dark arrows swarming into the Europe and to the United States, okay? All right. It's like chill, bro. Chill. Um, uh,
In the eyes of multiculturalists, e pluribus unum, out of many one, the great goal of America, and until now
yeah.
the great achievement of America, is just another form of colonialism. It imposes American and Western
Well, I'm
values on the
sorry. I'm sorry.
non-Western
It's
immigrants who
another
come.
form of colonialism. Let me go back.
It imposes American and Western values on
Forgive
just
me.
another form of colonialism. It imposes
No, no, it isn't. Multiculturalism is not another form of colonialism. Colonialism is forced upon people. Okay. Multiculturalism, where people actually, different cultures and stuff live within the same borders, and in most cases have migrated there. Not the same thing as colonialism. Multiculturalism is colonialism. Okay, you know what is colonialism? Fear of multiculturalism. If you live in what is called the metropole, so like the center of a colonial empire, like Britain or the United States, and you don't want people to come there because you worry it might interfere with the dominance of a certain group, that is a very colonial mindset. You'd rather just exploit those people elsewhere rather than having them come to you. So, um, okay, already a few issues. Already a few issues.
American and Western values on the non-Western immigrants who come here. Immigrants, therefore, need to cling to the cultures of the countries from which they came and stay separate.
Wait a minute. Well, okay, okay. I'm sorry. I keep repeating these things, but I'm having trouble processing it because there's so much crap in
The
this.
non-Western immigrants who come here. Immigrants, therefore, need to cling to the cultures of the countries from which they came and stay separate.
Why does he make it seem like when immigrants come to a new country, they're like forced to stay separate? Or like that is not how that works, okay? And also, we have to understand that there are multiple generations. So yeah, there's like a first generation that comes over, but then the next generation will be is typically is more integrated. I don't even like using this language, okay? But like this is not they are forced to stick to their cultural values. And by the way, folks, uh, one of the reason why immigrant communities stick so close together is in that most of the places in the so-called quote unquote West that they go, they live in marginalized areas where the rest of society looks down upon them negatively. And there's also a massive threat of hateful violence against them. So yeah, sometimes they will stay together for the sake of safety, for cultural familiarity. Okay.
Instead of e pluribus unum, the multiculturalists advocate for e pluribus pluribus, out of many, many.
Okay, completely misinterpreting the phrase "e pluribus unum," which is the idea that in the United States there are multiple different cultures, multiple different religions, but out of all of that, there is one civic identity, and that is an adherence to the Constitution, adherence to the Bill of Rights, and that was sort of the point of America was we it doesn't matter what your religion is, your culture is, whatever. We have a shared identity in that we believe in the same values when it comes to government and things like that. The idea of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, these sort of things. And to be honest, even though he's saying out of many, many, I mean that's kind of cool too. Like I wouldn't mind out of many, many, but that is not what That's not what. Okay, he's completely misinterpreting that idea. And why I hope he talks about white Americans because even though they have the same skin color, I know I have to explain this to this idiot, but they came from multiple different cultures and multiple different religious beliefs and things like that. So it's not like, okay, we'll continue.
It's true that we live in multi-ethnic societies, that is, societies that are home to people from different ethnic and religious backgrounds. And that can bring huge benefits.
Yeah,
Talented immigrants come to the West to open businesses, pay taxes, and start families.
yeah. What?
The founder of NVIDIA is from Taiwan. The CEO of Microsoft is from India. Elon Musk is from South Africa. But
Yeah.
multiculturalism is the exact opposite of this multi-ethnic merging, the e pluribus unum idea. It's about encouraging immigrants.
No, no, it's basically the same. I'm not. multiculturalism is different than multi-ethnics, what ethnic makeups and things like that? No. No, he just described multiculturalism. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Uh,
Not to merge. American liberals have always looked to Sweden as the kind of society they want America to emulate. Crime-free with a generous welfare system,
oh no, I know
free
where he's going.
healthcare, and free college education. But that Sweden was a cohesive society based on shared values, one language, and social solidarity. No longer. Today, the Swedish dream looks more like
Waiting
a
for it.
Swedish nightmare. Over 2 million of Sweden's 10 million people are now foreign-born, more than double the number in 2000.
So,
This experiment has not gone well. Sweden now has the highest rate of gang killings in Europe. Several areas are officially classified.
notice, okay, the attempt to make it appear as if immigration to Sweden is responsible for so-called increased gang violence. Now, folks, I am a fair human being, right? There have, in fact, been an increase in gang violence, an increase in violence in Sweden, and there has also been an increase in immigration. But the reason for this, right, is not because of immigration. It's because a lot of the folks that end up going to Sweden, they have some of the highest unemployment rates. They are not offered a lot of the social benefits that others are offered. There's also, by the way, been a massive increase in hate crimes in Sweden against people that are not from Sweden. So if you marginalize communities and you withhold from them what they need to survive materially, and you treat them like crap, you're going to see a rise in crime because people become desperate and they begin doing things like turning to selling drugs and things like that. That is the same case everywhere. It is not because of migration. It is because of how the society handles new migrants and how the sort of discrimination towards them. Okay, I don't like, and that's even if we assume that those migrants are the ones doing the crime. I don't know. There is, I think, a disproportionate a number of migrants that do the crime in Sweden, but still, the majority of crime are native-born Swedes. Um, and again, it's linked to poverty and to economic struggles rather than immigration. Okay, all right.
As especially vulnerable, meaning areas where it is very difficult for the police to operate. The governor of the Bank of Sweden
What is what does that mean? What does that mean? Places where it's difficult for the police to operate. That sounds like a problem that the government is having. That doesn't sound like a problem that the immigrants are causing. Like, why can't your police forces operate in certain places? Like, that's kind of weird. What are you doing wrong that you can't get your police force to enforce laws and stuff in certain places? I don't even know if it's true. Okay, but that is not the immigrants' fault.
told the Financial Times the growing crime problem is so serious it risks damaging the country's long-term economic growth. The problem is not
Right,
confined to
right.
Sweden.
That is good evidence right there, right? I mean, as I'm joking, anecdotal evidence that what some random economic minister said about crime. Yeah, great. I'm sure I'm sure that's backed with tons of research and stuff, right? No, okay, we don't know. That's insane. Um,
All over Europe, crime is up sharply. One of the primary reasons is multiculturalism. In
okay,
Britain,
all right. So this fool. Okay, okay. So how do I say this? There are he is conflating multiple things here. Multiculturalism is a separate concept from immigration, is a separate concept from crime. Okay. He seems to think that he's trying to criticize multiculturalism by conflating it with immigration, right? Now, okay. By the way, in the United States, for example, there is multiculturalism. There would be multiculturalism even if we didn't have immigrants. If you've ever been to the southern United States, very different culture than the northern United States. It's not that they're immigrants; it's that there are regional differences in culture. Okay, and yeah, crime has been going up in Europe. You know what else has been going up in Europe? Economic struggles. Okay, which I said previously, more of a correlation with material conditions than there are with quote unquote immigration multiculturalism. Okay.
Hundreds of thousands of young women and girls have suffered
Oh,
horribly
no.
at the hands of so-called grooming gangs,
Okay,
groups
here's
of
the
men
UK
from
nonsense.
ethnic minority backgrounds who
Okay.
target vulnerable girls for sexual.
Okay. Let's talk about these so-called grooming gangs in the UK, shall we? So there have been, first of all, the UK government has been extremely incompetent in how they've dealt with this, which has made it a lot worse. And what I mean by that is they've just been incompetent, which has just amplified the attention paid to this and things like that. Still, the stats here show that the majority of the sexual grooming, whatever you want to call them, are from white English people. All right. And also, yes, I will even admit it. In some places in the UK where there happen to be more immigrants, there is a higher percentage of those crimes that are committed by immigrants. But what did I say before, folks? Uh, those immigrant groups, especially, which I know they're sort of what's the term? Dog whistling about Muslims and Pakistani people from Southeast Asia. Um, those groups have some of the worst socioeconomic positions in English society. So maybe work to provide for them more and integrate them into the economic system, and you wouldn't have so much of this. But again, it's still mainly white folks that do this. And then, of course, the right wing in the UK has absolutely used this as scapegoating for their own racist ideas about who can be in the UK. Um, it, and by the way, something else that's not mentioned here is that a lot of the victims of these crimes are Pakistani girls and women. All right. So they only make it seem like, oh, the natives are the ones who are being targeted and blah, 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 blah. No, it's not. Okay. There's also a lot of victims who are from Pakistan, et cetera, and such. Okay. So again, more racism, more dog whistling about these things. Okay. All right.
Abuse. When this abuse is reported to the authorities, instead of bringing the perpetrators to justice, these crimes are covered up by social workers, police officers, and the local government officials.
Okay. So admittedly, he's actually right. The biggest issue with these grooming gangs is that the government and the police have failed miserably in dealing with it. The police have failed miserably. The government has failed miserably. Okay. The police handled it really badly. Government handled it really badly. And then they don't provide for the victims once they are released back or once they are put back into society. Like, this is not an issue with quote unquote immigration. It is an issue with the state acting incorrectly, socioeconomic conditions. Um, okay. And hey, folks, I'll admit, yeah, some folks from places in the world come from societies where more open misogyny is sort of more tolerated. But again, that that is not what's happening here in the UK. All right. Okay. Anyway.
Officials who are afraid of being called racist. The only way multi-ethnic societies can work is if we all play by the same rules and live by the same basic moral values. People like me, who come from other places, must be encouraged to assimilate. Immigrants must learn the language, adapt to local customs, and become full citizens with both rights and responsibilities. The onus should be on the immigrant, not the host country. At my doctor's office in East London, I regularly encounter paperwork that's been translated into a dozen languages. That's not what assimilation looks like.
So wait a minute. If you have a country where there are multiple languages being spoken, what why wouldn't you want government documents written in multiple languages? That's just a functional thing. Like if you want your populace to be able to read what the government's saying, you need it to be in multiple languages. So this like grasping of his pearls, like, oh, they're publishing it in multiple languages. Who cares? Who cares? Uh, okay, okay, all right.
First moved to England, my parents discovered that I had made friends with other Russian-speaking kids at my school. Well, they said, if that carries on, we'll have to find you a new school. You didn't come here to be a Russian in Britain, they explained. You came here to be British. Does what I'm saying sound controversial? If it does, You might be surprised to hear that the former German Chancellor Angela Merkel admitted this truth back in 2010 when she said, multiculturalism has utterly failed.
Oh,
A year
great.
later, former
Again, the great evidence, right? The statement of one world leader about multiculturalism. Okay.
British Prime Minister David Cameron said the same thing. So did former French President Nicolas Sarkozy and former Spanish President José María Aznar. Multiculturalism has failed in Europe not because we did it badly, but because it's a bad idea.
Nope. Okay. Also, folks, so there is also another point here. So let's say in theory that the assertion is correct that immigration and whatever multiculturalism, whatever the hell he means by those two things, does cause an increase of these issues. That would be just the first generation of immigrants, right? Again, I don't think that's true, but let's say that that is true for the sake of argument, okay? Uh, a lot of these migrants are pretty recent arrivals to these European countries, and I can promise you that all the stats show that the next generation will be more "quote unquote" integrated into the society. Will be, um, will speak the language and things like that. Okay, so I know this is like a pearl grasping. Oh my God, these immigrants! But just give it some time. Give it some time over there. Okay. All right.
Will fail in the US for the same reason. We either stand as one nation, united by a common purpose and common values, or we fall as competing tribes.
But see, that has been America. America has been one culture, or one country with a set of civic virtues that are uniting across ethnicity, culture, religion, etc. Now, we have broken up before during the Civil War, but that was over cultural uh, economic cultural differences between the North and the South, which were not immigrants. Okay. Um, all right.
Diversity is not our greatest strength. Unity.
And yet, diversity and multiculturalism spurs a ton of very positive things. Innovation, cultural vitality. Look at Brazil and look at the United States, two countries that have extreme diversity, extreme multiculturalism. They produce some of the best music, some of the most innovative music, art, things like that, because you get all these ideas coming from all over the world. And not to, and this sounds kind of weird for me to say, but like the food also, let's be honest, folks. You got to have, if you're having that variety of food, thank you. Thank you, immigrants, for all the beautiful food and stuff you bring, okay?
Years. I'm Konstantin Kisin, co-host of the Trigonometry podcast for Prager University.
Okay, Chad, I got to see what you say here. I got to see what you have to say here. Let me check here what you guys got to say. I tried to look at the chat a little bit, but as you know, I try to avoid looking at it while I'm doing these things. Let me quickly, what was I going to do here? Yes, I was going to mark it. Okay, so let me see what you all were saying here. Jesus Christ. Okay. Weirdly enough, that didn't raise my blood pressure too much, but maybe the next one will. Okay, so let's see. Who is this guy, by the way? Trigonometry podcast? What's that about? Okay. Yeah, okay, here we go. So, this was London, this is the London under Sharia law BS. Oh, absolutely, Mithril. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, you're right, Resident Union Thug. Hello, Resident Union Thug. Yeah, it's in reference to having different cultural practices. The London world multiculturalism has multi in the name for a reason. It means multiple cultures that all have their own practices. Exactly. Okay. This is the one. Okay. My mother's family assimilated. Right, Jazznaz Gaming, right? Like, uh, it's just not true that immigrants don't quote unquote assimilate. And even if they didn't, like, I don't really care. As long, of course, as everyone in the country is adhering to certain laws and civic ideas. Okay. What was the eagle? Looked a lot like the German one. I know, right? Well, that's a good point, Drusilla. Maybe that was sort of a Nazi dog whistle. The only people who aren't white can colonize things. Yeah, right, London. That's how it in place. Yeah, we're being invaded, right, Matt Guy? Great replacement theory crap. Um, Yeah, you're right. You're right, Joshua. Great reply. Oh, yeah, you just said it. Okay. Robert, white people have manifest destiny. Everyone else are immigrants. 100%. 100%, Robert. That certainly seems true. Um, uh, okay. Hello, Trump failed. London World, I'm gonna throw some random bullshit phrase in here to confuse people. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, you should be a PragerU translator there, London. It looks like they need to a translator to understand basic English words. Why don't they learn English? Why doesn't PragerU learn English? They clearly don't know what the word multiculturalism means. Okay. Um, yeah, no, totally SoCal. I love that. I don't understand how the right doesn't get it that that while people immigrate to the US from other countries, they should bring those customs and practices. So we are exposed to them as more than white Americanism, right? It is good for innovation and building humanity. Exactly, Alyssa, being willfully ignorant. Um, CR, Macy, hello, Macy. CR, I thinking the biggest obstacle between you and your enlightenment is that you expect everyone, POTUS and cops too, should follow the laws. Just let it go and be happy. Macy, no, I think everyone should follow the laws. That includes cops and politicians, which they don't. They don't. But that's something I think is funny because if you target immigrants for not following laws, why aren't you throwing the president of the United States in prison? Why aren't you putting the police in prison who break the laws? And we also need more and better laws to back those things up. Okay. Um, Drizella, right? Barf. Toy Toy Toy, born in Russia, lives in the UK, and wrote a book that, according to the Daily Telegraph, Kissen has written a lively and spirited book defending the society he is grateful to have found himself in. Uh, Interesting. That is strange. So I don't know much about him. That is interesting. Yeah, right, Robert. The racial purity, exactly. Um, okay. He can, but others can't. Right. Yeah, that's a good point, Toy. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, right, London. It's not like they're not given a chance to survive. Okay. Spurious correlation. Shaking my head. Exactly, Resident Union Thug. Um, yeah, I know. Don't get that argument that there's places that the police can't go. Are they incompetent? I mean, does the state not have a monopoly on force? Okay. Yep, material conditions, 100% Fox Emblem. Yeah, absolutely, Mango. Thank you for that. Mango says, as someone who lives in Sweden, there absolutely is a big issue of discrimination, just as much from young people as from older people. Right, Mango. And people in Sweden who are from elsewhere typically have lower economic positions. Um, and there's a lot of hate crimes that occur, and not to mention the right wing over there, Mango, which I know is kind of rising in popularity, is making it worse by scapegoating and stuff. Um, yeah, oh, total Matt Saigai, you were almost right there. He didn't mention the no-go zones in the UK, but he did mention them in Sweden. Uh, uh, okay, well, there you go then, Mithril. Mithril says, I'm glad for that correction. Crime in Sweden, part 3. Does Sweden have no-go zones where the police can't enter? Swedish police have identified problem areas, but say there is no such thing as a no-go zone. There we go. So he was just a lie. Yeah, just like deporting everyone's working so well for the food industry rigs, okay? Joshua, crime is up because I say so. Very good, okay? Um, SoCal grooming gangs. Yeah, I think they mean the Christian church. Um, Matt Saigai. See, I actually didn't know that relevant part to this. Matt Saigai says the Met Police constantly blamed the children and pushed them back into. I didn't know that. I know that the police and stuff really fucked up. Um, right, Trump failed. Okay. Interesting, Mithril. The Rochdale, excuse me, case only happened because a social worker would not give up on the victims. Uh, yep, yep, absolutely, Joshua. Okay. All right, you guys. There's a lot of good comments here. I am going to. Okay, thank you guys for that. So we'll go to the next one now. Again, folks, if we get only 3 super chats, I'll put on the makeup. Thank you for those who have donated already. Also, for those over on Twitch, please follow or like the stream, or I guess follow or become a subscriber. You can subscribe using Amazon Prime for free if you'd like. And all right, let's go to this next one. This next one here. Okay. On the day of the
This
rapture,
is
I
your
thought it'd be
brain.
good to do this. Thank you, limited edition snail, for following me on Twitch. Okay. So this one, again, folks, I'm going to do my
When you're
little bit here.
struggling to focus.
Um,
And this is your brain when you're in the zone. But getting in the zone and
okay. So this one is called Engel versus Vitali, banning prayer in schools. Well, on the day of the rapture, I feel that it is good for us to talk about these things. Okay, talk about banning prayer in schools. All right, so let's do that. Someone just sent a super chat, didn't they? I think I just saw one before I start here. Oh, thank you, Matt Saigai, for the gift membership. Thank you, Matt Saigai, for that. Okay. All right. So if we get two more, I'll put on the makeup. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to do my little bit here at the beginning. Let me make sure I mark the video so that I've gotten better. Alyssa asked me to mark the videos so I could do timestamps. So this is good that I'm remembering to do this. Okay. All right, folks. Ready for the next one? Ready for the next one? Resident Union Thug, thank you for the super chat. Resident Union Thug says, I can't wait to party in hell with you, SCR. I feel you there, Resident Union Thug. I can't wait for that either. Okay. I can't wait for a little party down there. Right. Okay, guys. So let us begin. I'm going to do my little bit here at the beginning. Please comment on it, and then I'll go through the chats afterwards. Okay. I suspect that this one's going to enrage me. All right. So let's go here. If you like my content, you can become a member and click the subscribe button. And for as little as 99 cents a month, you get access to members only emojis and a cute little jester hat next to your name in the live streams. You can also support me on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. And click the bell icon if you want to be notified of when I go live. We are going to be watching a PragerU video here. PragerU is being pushed by the Trump administration to be taught in schools. Several states have already adopted it as a major part of their curriculum. And Trump is considering replacing PBS programming with PragerU programming. So we'll see what this is about here. It's called Engel versus Vitali, banning prayer in schools. So we're going to do a reaction here. Let us begin.
Almighty God, we acknowledge our dependence upon Thee, and we beg Thy blessings upon us, our parents, our teachers, and our country. In 1951, the Board of Regents of New York recommended that New York public schools open each day with this prayer. Its intention was to promote gratitude, good behavior, and a recognition of God's role in American life.
So, okay. He says that the goal of the prayer was to promote gratitude. Gratitude towards who or what? God. And good behavior. Does one have to pray to a God to advocate for good behavior? And thirdly, here, recognition of God's role in American life. Not every American believes in God, nor does every American who does believe in the divine believe in only one God. So, are we just going to ignore all the American citizens who don't believe in those things by having them do this prayer? Kind of seems to me like a violation of church and state, the separation of church and state.
The parents of 10 students in Long Island strongly objected, claiming that the prayer violated their constitutional rights and the rights of their children.
It did. It did. It absolutely did. As a matter of fact, in order to if you had to uh if you wanted your kid in this particular case, the parents who were complaining, if they wanted their kids to not do the prayer, they had to sign a permission slip to have the kids excused, which is putting up another barrier that the parents then have to go through to prevent the kids from hearing this. And even if they couldn't, even if they didn't, they did sign the permission slip, there's still peer pressure going on. If all the other kids are doing it, it makes it so that the kids who don't do it sort of stand out and makes them seem like they're not conforming. This is definitely a violation of the Constitution, and the violation of the First Amendment.
Were they correct? Did the Long Island School District violate the Constitution?
Yep.
Specifically, did it violate the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment, which
Yep.
reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion? That was the question before the Supreme Court in the 1962 case, Engel v. Vitali. Stephen Engel was the lead plaintiff for the parents who objected to the prayer. William Vitali Jr. was the president of the school district. The two parties argued over three questions. 1. Was the prayer voluntary? The school
Nope.
district said it was. No one was forced to say the prayer. A student could remain silent or be excused from class. The parent
By the way, there's an easy way to fix this, folks. Really easy way. Okay. Instead of doing a state-sanctioned illegal prayer in a classroom, why don't you just go up to the front of the classroom as a teacher and go, "Okay, we're gonna have 2 minutes of silence." You know what that allows? That's good for kids' mental health, and it gives them a moment to sort of refresh their brains. If someone wants to pray, they can pray to themselves. Easy. You don't have to have a prayer that implies belief in a God, which violates people's First Amendment rights. You can easily just say, "Let's have a moment of silence."
parents argued the prayer was, in effect, compulsory. Children can't be expected to resist peer pressure or the implicit demand of the
Yep.
teacher to say the prayer. 2. Was it appropriate for a teacher to recite
But again, they're not even mentioning the fact that if you didn't want to say the prayer, so it was enforced. And if you didn't want to say the prayer, you had to get a parent's signed permission slip to be excused from it. So if you didn't get that permission slip signed, you would be compelled to say the prayer.
a government-composed prayer?
Nope.
The school district noted that prayer was commonplace in many government settings. The Supreme Court itself opens its sessions with the prayer, "God save the United States and this honorable court."
Yeah, and that's a problem that we still have in the US today. We like that God language is on a lot of things. It's on our money. In God we trust. The Supreme Court starts with that. I don't like it. I feel like it's an obvious violation of church and state, but other court rulings have been said basically it's a tradition and which I disagree with, but yeah.
The parents countered that school prayer violated the Establishment Clause because its purpose and effect was to promote belief in the existence of God. The answers to questions 1 and 2 both hinged on the answer to question 3. What was the purpose of the Establishment Clause?
Also, so another note here, folks. Okay, I didn't mention this at the beginning. I thought he might be breaking down the First Amendment. But there's also another. They only said at the beginning there. They only mentioned the first part of the Establishment Clause, where they said Congress shall make no, we shall establish no religion or whatever. But there's a second part to there, or the free exercise thereof. So that means that people are freely able to worship how they want to do, and they can't stop people from engaging in religion or lack thereof the way they want them to, which is exactly what they're doing in this case. Now that he brought up the Establishment Clause, they left out the other part of it.
The school district asserted that the clause was not meant to prohibit prayer in public life. It was meant to prohibit the creation of an official national religion of the kind that had existed in England at the time of the Constitution's writing. The parents
Nope.
maintained that the clause goes further and prohibits the government from composing and encouraging a prayer to be said in a public setting, like a classroom. This is the argument most people are familiar with, that there must be a wall of separation between church.
Yep. You know who said that? Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. And he was writing to the Danbury Methodist or Baptist, I can't remember what group it was, and basically saying, hey, don't worry, there will always be a wall of separation between the church and the state. And he's the one who wrote the Declaration of Independence. It was founded as a secular country, a country that the government was not influenced by religion. And by the way, if you are religious, you can make the argument it also protects religion from the state. Okay, so it protects the state from religion. It protects religion from the state. It was one of the first secular countries in the world. One of the things I like about the United States is that it was founded as a secular country. Of course, that has been massively eroded. But the founding fathers were very clear about this. Okay, secular country, secular country.
And state. What many people don't realize is that this phrase is nowhere to be found in the Constitution. It's a
Who
phrase
cares?
taken from a letter Thomas Jefferson wrote in 1802 to
Yeah,
the
yeah, okay.
Danbury, Connecticut Baptist Association. Nevertheless, the court found the separation of church and state argument persuasive and issued a broadly worded decision.
Because even though it wasn't in the Constitution, that was the implied meaning behind that part of the Constitution. That was the intention by the founding fathers. He's like, but they were persuaded. It was a bad argument. No, that's how it works. That was what was intended by it.
By a vote of 6-1, the court held
Losers. Okay, so I think 2 judges didn't vote, but 6 of them said, yeah, that's against the First Amendment. Only 1 said otherwise. Okay, goes to show you that the Supreme Court was very obviously thought it was very obvious that this was a violation.
held that it was unconstitutional for the government to compose a prayer and have it recited at a public function. Importantly, the court said that the prayer was unconstitutional even if it was voluntary. And the court didn't limit its rationale to schools. It went much further, suggesting that government-composed prayers were inappropriate in all public settings. Justice Hugo Black...
No, okay, that is manipulation there. They are not prohibited in public settings. You can pray in a public setting. The issue is when the state enforces prayer in a public setting, okay? It is not like you can go, like if you want to go to a courthouse and say a prayer out in the open, go ahead. But the judge cannot say, everyone, we're going to pray. A teacher cannot say we're all going to pray because they're agents of the state. Okay, so this is fear mongering. They're trying to make it seem like they're trying to stop you from being able to pray. No, they're trying to prevent the state from forcing prayer down people's throats, especially in a country full of different religious beliefs and those who don't have religious beliefs. Okay,
a strong liberal voice on the court at the time, wrote the majority opinion. The First Amendment was added to the Constitution to stand as a guarantee that neither the power nor the prestige of the federal government would be used to control, support, or influence the kinds of prayer the American people can say.
Yes.
The court took pains to clarify that its decision was not intended to display hostility to religion. Quite the opposite. The court argued that its decision was intended to protect religion from government interference.
100%. Didn't I just say that, folks? That it also protects religion from government interference. It protects religion and it protects the state, okay?
Justice Potter Stewart was the lone dissenter. I cannot see how an official religion, he wrote, is established by letting those who want to say a prayer say it. On the contrary, I think that to deny the wish of these school children to join in reciting this prayer is to deny them the opportunity of sharing in the spiritual heritage of our nation.
The spiritual heritage of our nation. Yeah. Which religion would that be? We think we can see here some Christian supremacy. There are Jewish folks. There are Muslim folks. As a matter of fact, I think like something like several of the plaintiffs in this case were Jewish, and a couple of them were secular. They were atheists or humanists. So this is ignoring all the other religious beliefs that are mixed in with this, that are just being ignored because of a claimed spiritual heritage of our nation. By the way, almost every nation has a spiritual heritage because people used to be a lot more religious all over the place. Anyway.
Most Americans agreed with Justice Stewart. Newspaper editorials across the country denounced the ruling. The Los Angeles Times' response was typical. It mocked the decision as perverse.
By the way, folks, I doubt he's going to add this context, right? This court was already very unpopular by a lot of Americans. Do we know why? Do you all know why out there? Because this was the court that criminalized segregation, that said that segregation was a violation of the U.S. Constitution. Forcibly separating black people from white people and giving them separate institutions was bad. That's what this court said. And so there was already a lot of hatred out there for this court because of this. And after this religious ruling, all these newspapers and stuff, which were already upset because they didn't like seeing black people treated equally, were even more upset by this, and really kind of got all of their fifis about it. Just something to note there. Missing the historical context here. You might not, Prageru might not want to talk about the anger towards this court, because then they would have to acknowledge that a lot of that anger came from white supremacists who were anti-desegregation. Okay? Okay.
A solution in search of a problem. But as the nation moved deeper into the tumultuous 60s, the Kennedy assassination, the Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War, Engel faded into the background. Or did it? Can we trace the country's moral decline, assuming you think there has been a moral decline?
Here we go.
To the fact that our public life has become disconnected from religion.
Right. That's why the United States is experiencing a quote-unquote moral decline because they're not allowed to say prayers in schools anymore. Right? It isn't the wealth inequality. It isn't the erosion of our democratic institutions. It isn't the establishment of a authoritarian presidency. It isn't all these corporate entities constantly stealing everything from us. It isn't the fact that we have a healthcare system that allows people to die. It isn't the rising cost of housing. It isn't the racism. It isn't the misogyny. It isn't the homophobia. It isn't the transphobia, right? It is the fact that we're not praying in schools. It isn't guns, by the way. It isn't the fact that we are swamped with guns everywhere, all places. And it is definitely, folks, not the fact that a lot of religious people in the United States advocate for extremely authoritarian Christian nationalism, targeting of minority groups, and mixing the state with the church. None of those things. It's the fact that we can't pray in schools anymore, or that the state cannot force people to pray in schools anymore.
Many say yes. It's not a coincidence that so many social ills, like drug use, alienation, and depression, proliferated in the subsequent decades.
Some say yes. Who? Who says yes? You're going to quote a reliable source there? Is there some sort of scientific study that links the two things? Because I would bet it doesn't. I would bet it doesn't. And by the way, classic saying among scientists here: correlation does not mean causation. So there may have been a reduction in that stuff after the 1950s, but that doesn't mean it was caused by prayer in schools. A lot of other things happened right after the 1950s. Okay, the 60s happened.
Many say no. In a nation that was becoming ever more diverse, the court preserved an essential liberty: the freedom to practice any religion or no religion. Whatever you think
Yeah.
of the decision,
Okay.
perhaps
Hey, credit where credit's due. They gave the other side to that. Yeah, the state should protect people's ability to practice any religion as long as it's not violating laws. And yeah, okay, fair. Hey, at least they're mentioning it.
we can all agree on this. Engel profoundly altered the role religion plays in public life, making it among the most consequential Supreme Court decisions in American history. I'm Joel Elisea, Associate Professor of Law at Catholic University for Prageru University.
Well, thank God, folks. Okay, let me see what we got here in chat. All right. Please, please, can the Rapture please start already? Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, guys, let me see here. Oh, this guy, these points are got okay. Okay. Cogito hazard. I love that, Joshua. All right. All right, just redeem a celebration. Oh, thank you, Matt Sagai, for the celebration you just redeemed there. Okay, Jesus Christ. Let me see here, folks. I'm trying to get to okay. Why didn't they you dug on the left? Oh my God, you're so right. It looks like you got to that before I did. Dug on the left. Why didn't they use the whole religion portion of the First Amendment? I wonder why, Doug. I wonder why. Okay. Uh Yep, you're totally right, Doug on the left. Majority was added as part of the Red Scare, 100%. As a matter of fact, the under God portion of the Pledge of Allegiance was added as part of the Red Scare because there was a thought that atheist communists wouldn't be able to say it or whatever, because if they had to say under God. Okay, this is why, London, this is why I stopped doing the Pledge of Allegiance all that. Sometime in middle school, I realized what I was saying was fucked up and I didn't agree with it. Good for you, London. Good for you. SoCal, we had a moment of silence in my junior high schools every day at the start of third period so that seniors who were able to arrive late still given the opportunity. Right, SoCal? Like, if this is such a big issue, why don't people just have a moment of silence? And it's also just good, like, for mental health to have a moment of silence. There's been studies on it. It's like meditating. And if you want to pray, then pray. Okay? No one's stopping you from praying. We just can't have the state sanctioning it. Pizza, we also forget that a lot of the founding fathers were deists, not Christian. Very true, Pizza. So there is some debate, Pizza, about whether a deist is defined as a Christian. But yes, most of them were deists. So they believe that there was a creator, but they thought that creator didn't interact in the world. So, which is basically like a soft form of atheism. Okay. Secularism. Woo! Yeah, London, I agree. Thank you, SoCal. It was Baptist. Mithril, yeah, religiosity is the root of a lot of America's problems there, Mithril. The extreme religiosity. Yeah, right, Pizza? We want to honor what the founding fathers wanted as a Christian ethno-state. Sorry, I added that to what you said, Pizza. 2 seconds later, we don't want to honor what the founding fathers wanted. Exactly. Um, Mango, the founding fathers said the U.S. should be secular, but they didn't mean it actually. So Mango, you might, I'm not sure if you're stating that as a fact there, but Mango, they actually did, and not all of them did, okay? But they did actually mean a secular state. They because they did not want to have. They were trying to avoid having like a state-run church like they did in Britain at the time, and things like that. So a lot of them really did want a secular democracy. They wanted a very, at least they don't want the state to be involved in it, because also a lot of the folks in America at the time had fled from the UK because of what they viewed as religious oppression. So they didn't want any of that. Um, uh, Mithril, hello, Kimberly. There is no other developed nation where one of the first thing the politician must establish is his religious faith. I know, right, Mithril? I don't really care. Like, I don't care what your religion is as long as you're advocating for things. Okay. If religion and thus thoughts and prayers is such a protective practice, they may want to talk to Charlie Kirk. Oh, wait, they can't. SoCal. Okay. The Vietnam War. Yep. You know, all the PTSD from the Vietnam War, Robert. Okay. There was a lot of other stuff that happened. I wonder if people felt this level of political exhaustion in the 60s. Pizza, I don't mean to get your hopes down, but I suspect they didn't. Not as much as we are now. If you look at studies of like exhaustion with the government and things like that, it's more prevalent now than it was in the 60s, but it was pretty high in the 60s, which is a bad sign. Um, yeah, so Cal, he's from the Catholic University. That's what it said. Yeah, Jesus Christ, literally. Um, um, okay, Joshua, it is a religious thing, Joshua. Yes. Hello, Santiago Avita. Christ said nations will be judged by how they treat the weakest among them. Um, uh, Christ said nations will be judged by how they treat the weakest among us. Republican Jesus disagrees. Right, Santiago? Haven't you noticed, Santiago, how they always leave out like the most important parts of the New Testament? Like the things that Jesus are like, these are non-negotiable. Care for the poor, clothe the those that don't have clothing. You know, care for the sick, treat your brother like you want to be treated. Those are the things that are not uh, good, right? Like that they don't like to focus on or they ignore. Mango, it's truly amazing seeing how much cherry picking is going on with let's listen to the founding fathers, but only the parts that we like, right, Mango? Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying, Mango. Okay. Drugs Delaney, perfect expletive there. Thank you, Drugs. Okay. Okay, guys. So, uh, should I do one more? Maybe I'll do one more, just one more, and then we'll do some reactions. Okay. Uh, Yeah, you're right, Alan. Only 37% of people have any amount of trust in Congress, according to polling that came out yesterday. It's hard to believe that people could have any less faith in the government than they do now. Yeah, 100%, Alan. That's what the stats show. I mean, since stats have been taken. Okay, so let's go on now to the. I'll do one more of these, and then we'll do
Thank you
some.
for watching.
We'll do some other stuff. Okay. Let me make sure to mark the video. Um. Uh. You know what, folks? I think we'll stop for we'll do something else now. I'll watch the other ones a different time, uh, just because I'm kind of tired of talking at the screen. So, okay, SoCal. The problem is that there are Christians who think they continue to live in sin without repercussion or consequence because they were already saved. 100% SoCal. I think it's deeply immoral. The idea of like a God that is infinitely merciful. I had a priest once tell us that if Hitler got to heaven and then accepted Jesus and apologized and did it, uh, when he dies, that and they believed it, he would have been saved, and then it's brought to heaven, which to me is disgustingly immoral. I believe in justice, not that. Okay, let's put it that way. All right, so okay, let me. I got some things to react to on here. I'm gonna put my other thing back up here. Yeah, right, Demosthenes. It's like a get out of jail free card. Um, All right, I gotta fix some of the oh geez, I gotta fix some of the settings here. Give me a second, folks. Okay, because it gets all messed up whenever I do these things. There we go. Okay. And only those radical communists go to hell, right? Exactly. Okay. Alan. Okay, so let me make sure. Oh, thank you, Matt Sai guy. Let me go back here. I love it. I love it, Matt Sai guy. The little popo thing. Okay, guys. So, all right. So let me go to. Let me go back to where I can move around a bit so I can actually get to where I'm going to go. I'm going to go to let me make sure is making sure everything's okay over there on. Yeah, it is. It's okay over there on YouTube. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that now just so I can see this vertical scenes. Oh. Oh. Okay. All right. So I have some things pulled up for me to react to. Let me actually make sure I mark the video here. Boop. Okay. Again, folks, if we get 2 more super chats, is that what I said? I'm kind of losing track here. If we get 2 more super chats, or 200 bits or more on Twitter on Twitch, I will put the I'll put on some makeup here to finish up the jester look. Thank you everyone who's donated, etc. Okay, let me go back to my face here while I set this up. Okay. Woo! Okay. Happy Rapture, everyone. Happy Rapture. Okay. As Matt Saigai says, maybe this is a good turning point for all of us, right? Okay. So I don't know if you guys, a lot of you probably heard about Stephen Miller's speech that he gave at the Charlie Kirk cult session. I'm sorry, Charlie Kirk memorial service. Okay. And I wanted to play that for all of you real fast. There's a few things here for me to read. I'll pull it up here.
Just one.
Let me see here. Okay. You know what? I think it's actually on. It's on Discord. I'll find it. Okay. So, Stephen Miller, the monster himself, gave a speech at the Charlie Kirk thing yesterday. And I wanted to play it for all of you because boy, does it sound I watched it before even watching this video. And I'm like, "Oh my god, he might literally be taking direct cues from Nazi propagandists." So let me pull this up. Okay. All right. So let's all listen to this, okay? I mean, as much as you can, given what it is we're watching, okay? And oops, let me to actually start it over here so you all can actually see it from the beginning. Okay, I don't know who this guy is, but all right. So let's watch this again. This was Stephen Miller at the Charlie Kirk thing. So we will let's see what he has to say. What kind of batshit crazy Nazi nonsense comes out of his mouth? All right. So here we go.
I remember him. This is Richard Spencer. He briefly became the most famous neo-Nazi in America.
Thank you, Matt Saigai. So this guy is called Barley Informed. Okay, I'll take a look at his stuff. Thank you, Matt Saigai.
Okay, this one is...
Matt Saigai,
this one
I
is
don't even, real fast, sorry, folks. I don't even know that thing you're doing with the highlighted messages. Should that be counting towards our limit here? I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. Does anyone know, like, I'm not sure what are you paying for that, Matt Saigai? I'm still trying to figure out the Twitch stuff. Okay, anyway, here we go.
Really freaky, so stick until the end. We start with this guy. Remember him? This is Richard Spencer. He briefly became the most famous neo-Nazi in America after Trump's first election with this speech.
Hail Trump! Hail our people!
Oh,
Hail
shit,
victory!
I forgot about that.
This is when neo-Nazis were starting to rebrand as alt-right, but as you can see, they were still super mask off. If you don't know, Hail Victory is English for Sieg Heil. Anyway, listen closely to this part of the speech.
To be white is to be a striver, a crusader, an explorer, and a conqueror. We build, we produce, we go upward.
And
oh my God, such Nazi language. Okay, I thought this was going to be. I thought this was going to be Stephen Miller. Well, I bet it'll come up later, but very similar. I got you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Okay, but that is still very similar to what Stephen Miller said. Okay, we'll see.
that is a regular neo-Nazi talking point that you hear often these days, that white people build, create, invent things, that they're the source of civilization or whatever. Keep that in the back of your mind, but enough of Richard Spencer for now. Because this rotten, hard-boiled egg is Stephen Miller. He's one of the only high-level White House staffers that stayed with Trump after his first term. And he's Trump's main immigration advisor, the architect of Trump's immigration policy. And even though he comes from a Jewish family, his own family members say that guy totally would have been an SS officer back in the day. Anyway, this is a section of his speech at the Charlie Kirk Memorial.
Our lineage and our legacy
Here we go.
hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello. Our ancestors.
A side note here, to even refer to Monticello, and not to mention Athens and Rome, slave-owning societies. Monticello was where Jefferson lived, and he had a ton of different. He had lots of enslaved people there, and would engage in sexual assault against them and stuff. So for him to be saying the legacy, our legacy, are places that had brutal slave systems. I mean, there's even more that I could say about this, but I don't think he's trying to be rational. So
Built the cities. They produced the art.
also funny because did they produce all those things, or did they have enslaved labor do a lot of that for them? Not to mention the workers who did it, who were from all over the place.
Art and architecture. They built the industry. Erica stands on the shoulder.
You know, he'll allow that industry to be built. Immigrants who immigrated to the United States in order to work in the factories, and without them, these wealthy robber barons would not have been able to have such success.
Of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light.
Okay, this idea of like light and darkness, that's very fascist. If anyone's curious, you should look up the Cathedral of Light that the Nazis had. It was a massive it was a massive stadium that was basically made by pillars of light that were shooting up into the sky. This idea of light and dark. Even in Francis Parker Yockey's Imperium, the image on the front page is an eagle with light shining behind it. The idea that Western civilization, Germany, things like that, is like the light, shining on the dark places of the world. Very white supremacist, very Nazi.
The light will defeat the dark. We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the...
See, okay, remember what we've talked about, folks. The word awakened there. Palingenic ultranationalism, which is at the core of fascist ideology. It is the idea that we need a national rebirth. We need to awaken the nation and to restore it to a previous mythical time. Okay, the idea, like reawakening, is extremely is an extremely fascist term, because it's like you're reawakening the nation to return to a greater time in order to make a better future, which we talked about before on Livestream way back. Palingenetic ultranationalism.
Army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing.
Humanization, obviously, dehumanization. You are nothing. You are nothing. You are scum. You are nothing. Okay. Which allows people to disconnect from the humanity of others, which allows people to do horrible things to people they disagree with. You are nothing. You are trash. Okay. The implication there, very fascist language.
You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build.
Right, Joshua Miller is projecting hard on that part. You are nothing. I have no hair. There's nothing on my head. Nothing. Nothing. Okay.
We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity.
Yeah, things are getting dark, man. Things are getting really dark. Anyone who
yep.
knows anything about Nazi propaganda know that that was a Nazi speech. Not even a watered-down crypto-Nazi speech. That is a straight-up Nazi speech from the 1930s. And they feel comfortable doing this because they know that the killing of Charlie Kirk has given them a way to dismiss and invalidate comparisons to the Nazis. But holy shit is that mask off, and holy shit should that make you worry about what is to come.
Yeah. Okay, that was really good. Thank you for whoever's, I forget who posted that, but thank you. Matt Saigai, thank you for the bits. Okay, well, looks like it's time for the makeup. Okay, I'll put on the makeup now. We are living in the worst timeline, okay? Maybe it would be better if the rapture did happen now. So folks, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play, there's some other videos here I have to react to. So I'm going to put on the makeup while we start listening to them, okay? So you guys don't have to just sit here and watch me put on the makeup. I'm going to take this off so I don't get it too dirty. All right. So let me get this. Thank you, Matt Saigai. Yeah, you're right, Dolly Boy. You know, our ancestors are the ones who create. Your ancestors did, and with blood, sweat, and tears of slaves. Exactly, Dolly Boy. Yeah, insert name. You're so right. It's ironic how much Christian nationalist rhetoric was used during the memorial and presented by our own government. Yep. Yep. I think it was Alan who said that. You know, Alan, did you say you're not terribly surprised by this anymore? You notice, like, I didn't react too strongly to that because, like, and I should, but it's like I'm not surprised. I mean, this has been going on for a while, has it not? Okay. So I wanted to show you guys a video here. I'll put it up here on the screen for when I'm doing my makeup. Okay. This is something from, I guess, NBC about the military, which is now planning to use Charlie Kirk's demise. Right, Mithril? It's ironic that most people in the arts or creators are of the left. And you know, Mithril, there's actually some theories about that. Fascists are really don't know how to create new things. They are against new things. They are against innovation and things like that because they want to return to a mythical past. So I just want you guys to watch this. Let's watch this about the military planning to use. Yeah, exactly, Oz, and it worked. It's unfortunately, Oz, you're right. Like, and it's one of the problems is that I'm so used to seeing it now. That you're right. The Overton window is shifting. Yeah, you're right, Alan. Okay, Josh, who are they recruiting with that message? Racists? Yeah, Joshua. Yeah, and Christian nationalists, which I guess overlaps with racists almost all the time. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, David. It is. It's the neurosis of being stuck in the mythical, and being stuck in the irrationalist. Okay. The aesthetic, so absolutely. Okay, I'm going to put on the makeup, folks, while we're watching this. Okay. You know, I was half expecting him to just start railing against Jewish people. Like it almost looked like, I'm like, he's going to start talking about the protocols of the elders of Zion, or he's going to start talking about a Jewish cabal. Because like it looked so much like a Nazi speech. Anyway. Okay. So let's watch this.
Exclusive reporting this hour on a planned push by top military leaders to try and recruit new troops after the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Two officials familiar with the planning tell NBC News there are plans for a campaign to encourage young people to join the U.S. military to honor Charlie Kirk's legacy. NBC News senior national security correspondent, I should say.
Hello, Sophia Louise. Let's see here. Sophia, what are some books about fascism that you would recommend everyone read so that they're well equipped? Great question, Sophia. So if you're still on here, I'll tell you. Robert Paxton's An Anatomy of Fascism is really good. So that's one. Robert Paxton's An Anatomy of Fascism. Another one is The Coming of the Third Reich by Richard Evans. Also really good. If you look up a guy, I'll write his name in chat here, Stanley Payne. He has some good books. He has several good books on this. Stanley Payne. Okay. Also, folks, by the way, I'll just put all the ones I just mentioned down here. By the way, folks, I recommend everyone here join our Discord server. We have a really good community on there. You can recommend things to me, and we have a recommendation. We have a reacts channel where you can put things you want me to react to, which is what these are. Okay. Also, we have a resources channel where you can see book recommendations and things like that. Umberto Eco. I'm just putting the name of some authors. Music by Brian. What time is the rapture? Soon, Brian. Soon. It'll be happening at any time, I'm sure. Okay. Okay. It is not music. Music by Brian. If you're looking for a channel that believes in the rapture, this is not the one for you, okay? Because the rapture is not coming, Michael. It's been predicted over 7,000 times, and it's been wrong every single time, okay? And not a real Michael or music. I'm sorry, music. Please just remember to think for yourself, okay? And use rational thought and critical thinking. There is no rapture. All right. The rapture is not coming. So just be aware of that. Also be aware, folks, be aware, music. Okay. Music. I know music. So I understand. But music, it also makes it more statistically probable that it's wrong, right? If all the other ones were wrong. But I get it. Music, Michael, you have your religious beliefs. Okay, I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying a lot of times, Michael, the folks that promote that the rapture is coming are trying to make more money and trying to raise attention. So just be aware that there are also some people that might be profiting off of the notion that the rapture is happening now. Okay. All right. So just, but again, Michael, believe what you want. All right. I'm a teacher, Michael. I'm just trying to get folks to think about things a bit more, if that makes sense. Okay. Oh. No, of course, music. No, of course, music by Brian. No problem. Okay. But also music, Brian, please believe what you want to believe. Okay. I don't want to, if those are your beliefs, hey, more power to you. Just, just think critically. Oh, you're right, folks. Let me press play now. Okay. So we'll watch this.
Courtney
Thank you, SoCal.
has been digging into this for us. Courtney, what have you learned?
Yeah, so this is an effort that's being led by the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness. That's retired General Anthony Tata. The goal here is to look at whether they can use Charlie Kirk's legacy as essentially a national call to service. And that would include potentially things like mottos like, we need to grow a generation of warriors in honor of Charlie. It could also include, though, Kate, using some of these Turning Point USA, that's of course the organization.
Hey, real fast. Yeah, Mango, I'm sorry. It must be an expired link. So, folks, I'm going to post a link to our Discord server in the I must be using an old link there. So I'm posting a link to our Discord server. Please join it. I'll be posting it in the chat right here. Paste. There we go. Go ahead and get on there, all right? I have a great community on there. I'm sure anyone can verify a lot of the folks in here on the Discord server. We also do a lot of extra stuff on there. No problem, Mango. We also do a lot of extra stuff on there where we will actually have chats together in the voice chat, listen to music, watch things together. There are some things I can't talk about on live stream for certain reasons that I am more able to talk about on Discord. So something to think about, folks, for those who want to join it. Thank you, Dolly Boy. Okay. All right. We'll continue.
That was founded and run by Charlie Kirk until his death last week. Some of those locations could actually be used to encourage recruiting as well. That could be everything from having recruiting officers come to the locations and talk to students or talk to people at universities, to even having brochures about military service present in their locations.
And Courtney, do you know if the military has done anything like this before, recruiting people following the death of a public political figure?
Not that we're aware of. It's not uncommon for them to be at places like universities, obviously, and for them to have people who would be, coming to events that are sponsored by various groups. I should also say at this point, this has not been decided. This is an idea, as I said, that is being headed up by Anthony Tata, the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness. But at this point, it's not been completely, signed off on by the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, although he is aware of it. This is part of a bigger push by the Pentagon to look at recruiting and to look at some of the societal trends that exist right now that could spell a problem for recruiting in the future. Of course, the Trump administration loves to talk about how recruiting for the military has skyrocketed under Donald Trump, but the reality is they are looking at the possibility that that could start falling in the coming years, Kate.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking.
Again, they're trying to use the death of Charlie Kirk here as, yeah, no, you're right, Joshua. Yeah, like they used 9/11 to get more people to join the military as well. So they're using the Charlie Kirk thing to try and get more people into the military.
Hate has
also because of, so this is another video, folks. I wanted to, who said that? Santiago. Yes, I was actually introduced by a cult. What is it? Knitting Cult Lady. Brilliant. I love Knitting Cult Lady. I highly recommend everyone look up her channel. Thank you for that, Santiago. Yeah, I don't know about that music by Brian, but that, yeah, you're right. Maybe it already happened, and maybe Charlie Kirk was the only one worthy among us. Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, the Joshua love Knitting Cult Lady. I think it was Macy who introduced someone here introduced me to her. All right. So going back to this, folks. This, in honor of the Rapture, okay, we got this, which is far-right Tennessee pastor demands removal of hate has no home signs. Okay, so just a kind of little side note here.
no home here. Seems like a harmless message, but now in a major escalation following the Charlie Kirk assassination, a far-right pastor is calling on his critics to take down those signs. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. That pastor, Andrew Isker, is part of an effort to establish a Christian nationalist community here in Middle Tennessee. Now he's equating those hate has no home signs with a call for political violence.
At the same time, he's calling for vengeance against people he perceives to be his enemies. Our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, has been monitoring this group that is planting roots in Jackson County, about 90 minutes northeast of Nashville. And Phil, this is really quite an escalation in the rhetoric.
It is. Okay, this is an escalation in the rhetoric. They have signs, hate has no home up here in hate has no home up here. That's escalating the violence. Again, like this is kind of right, Santiago. Okay, this is funny, and it kind of I'm not a fan of Destiny. I'm not a fan of Destiny, but Destiny actually made a point recently where he was arguing with people about this. It's like they're going to demonize the left no matter what they do at this point, right? Like, anyway, okay. I know. Is it The Onion? It is not The Onion, London.
And you can understand, Andrew Isker is understandably horrified by the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But while he's calling for the left to tone down its rhetoric, he doesn't appear to be ready to do the same.
Blood cries out from the ground for justice.
In this sermon posted online, far-right pastor Andrew Isker, who's leading an effort to establish a Christian nationalist community in Jackson County, Tennessee, expresses anger over the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk and the response of some liberals, arguing that now is not the time for America, in the words of Jesus, to love your enemy.
This great evil must not be tolerated. It must be rooted out and eradicated.
And in a post in a Jackson County Facebook group, Isker compares himself to Kirk, saying his views are more or less the same as the slain activists, and claiming that as a result of what he calls irresponsible reporting, he has received multiple death threats. I checked with both the Jackson County Sheriff and Gainesboro Police, where Isker's office is located, and both said he had never reported any such threats to them. Still, Isker takes aim at the "Hate Has No Home in Jackson County" signs that have sprung up around the area, telling his neighbors that those signs, quote, mean you support violence against people you hate. He adds, if you really believe the rhetoric needs to be toned down, you will show it by putting these signs away.
We're building a town. We're building a community there.
Our News Channel 5 investigation has drawn directly from the words of Isker and his podcast co-host CJ Engel. Isker has downplayed the murders of 14-year-old Emmett Till, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd, and he has declared that the very concept of racism was literally a creation of communists. He has repeatedly mocked members of the...
Right. Yeah, racism was created by communists. Oh, that's based. Yeah, let's say that. Let's say that the idea that racism is bad and stuff was invented by communists. That does some pretty good PR for communists, okay? This is almost like it's almost like, what is it? They are a satire of themselves, okay? All right. Yeah, I'll continue it. All right.
LGBTQ community saying here that the answer is to put these people in jail.
This conversation probably has piqued a lot of interest for a lot of people. And
the podcasters have platformed guests known for spreading anti-Semitic notions, while Isker has dismissed anti-Semitism as a 20th century slur. And here in a podcast titled, Guys, You Gotta Get Over Hitler, he agreed with far-right Christian pastor Joel Webbin that Jews should be treated as second-class citizens, in his words, as foster children.
They get to ride in the car, and be treated respectfully in the car, but they don't get to drive.
It's like having a family, and you have foster children in your family, right? You wouldn't even give your own children the credit card or the family budget, but you're definitely not giving it to the foster child.
But like the uproar over late-night host Jimmy Kimmel, Isker argues for going after journalists who say bad things about people like him.
Media organizations who accuse Christians of spreading hate or fascism or white supremacy or whatever slurs they wish to use, they must lose their broadcast license and be subject to broadened defamation law.
Says fascism is a slur, goes on to advocate for fascist solutions to political people who are opponents of his.
Extreme action must be taken.
And on X, Isker shared a post from an account that demands declare a state of emergency. Every leftist needs to be purged from every institution, remove them from their positions, confiscate their...
Definitely wrong to call him a fascist, right? Definitely wrong to call him a fascist when he's asking for the Democratic Party needs to be declared a criminal organization, RICO, freeze their assets, remove their politicians from office, strike down their laws, a full denazification strategy. Oh, the comedy writes itself, folks. Yeah, if fascism is a slur, I got bad news for him, right? Trump failed.
Assets. The post continues, the Democrat Party needs to be declared a criminal organization, freeze their assets, remove their politicians from office, strike down their laws. And if that sounds like Isker is ready to abandon democracy, he doesn't seem to care.
Nowhere in the Bible does it prescribe liberal democracy as God's form of government, as the ideal form of government.
As for his future,
nowhere in the Bible or nowhere in the New Testament, at least, does it describe any form of government that is the best. But it is pretty clear the New Testament is about a few things like treating people the way you want to be treated and caring for people. No, I didn't actually, London. Where did you send the donation? Would you tell me, London? I didn't see it. Maybe did you send it on the coffee thing? Buy me a coffee. Okay, thank you, London. I'm sorry, London. I didn't see it. I'll check it. Let's finish watching
Here
this.
in Jackson County, Isker's words regarding those no hate signs are ominous. Gainsboro is my home now. I am not leaving, he writes. If the hate is me and I am not leaving, no home here means the only way I don't have a home here is if someone kills me.
Jesus.
And in a podcast that ran late this afternoon, Isker doubled down even more on his rhetoric, saying, quote, when you accuse someone of preaching hate, they are saying, I hope somebody puts a bullet in your neck. That's what that means. As for his call for vengeance, he does make the point in that sermon that he doesn't think any individual ought to go out and seek vigilante justice on their own. Instead, he argues that the Trump administration should be doing that job, which we've seen recently. There may be some inclination to go after people whose speech they don't like.
Well, Phil, Andrew Isker talks about toning down the rhetoric as some of his, not fans toning down their rhetoric, but has he, as a pastor, someone who should be really in tune with humility and love for others, has he shown...
Okay, obviously we need a woman here for these, to speak the honest, obvious truth, right? I'm not trying to be misandrist, I guess, by saying that, but yeah, obviously, I'm glad she's like, well, wait a minute, but isn't it obvious that he's supposed to be promoting like other good values? Okay, all right.
Any sign of toning down his?
None that I have found. And in fact, in that podcast that I just watched moments ago, he calls for journalists to be shaking in their boots.
Tough times indeed. You're going to continue to follow.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it.
So you're telling me Riverside is the only platform I need to record
Okay, so there we go, folks.
Podcast?
The pastor trying to ban a sign that talks about how, ending hate speech because it's promoting violence, apparently. That's the kind of society we're living in, folks. All right. So we got a few other things here to react to. I wanted to watch this one real fast. I think Meowsword sent this. Someone sent it, obviously. So, Louise, has anyone heard about this? Reports suggest that Pope Leo XIV may replace Cardinal Timothy Dolan as Archbishop of New York with Bishop Daniel Flores of Texas. I didn't know that. I didn't hear about that, Louise. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that. London, yeah, so the current Pope is more on the liberal end of things, for sure. Okay, so let's watch this, folks. This is this guy who I like a lot. I think, like I said, Meowsword introduced me to him, but he's it's talking about the rapture.
To heaven. A lot of people, rapture's tomorrow, it's Rapture Eve. Why are you excited? You're a bad person. You're not getting sucked up into heaven. A lot of people out here making fun of you, believing that the rapture's tomorrow. I'm mad at you. I'm angry at you. You waited until I couldn't have any fun to tell me that it's the rapture tomorrow? That it's the end times tomorrow? Where were you last month? Where were you in August to tell me to not pay rent? Where were you in August to tell me to not put extra money on my car? Where the fuck were you when I signed up for a gym because I felt bad about my body on the beach? I put in elliptical. I put in time on the elliptical. I can't get that time back. And you're out here telling me that you're a good person and that you're going to get sucked up into heaven by Jesus Christ because some lady on
Do it, London, do it.
TikTok told you that a dude named Jesus said, see you next Tuesday? Are you kidding me right now? You're a bad person. You are stuck. You are left behind and trapped here with all the rest of us. As far as I know, rapture already happened. Rapture already happened. And we're out here stuck with the Antichrist, building gold statues to himself all across the goddamn world, talking about building up towards a big old final war and shit like that. You act like you're special. You're not special. You're just as bad as the rest of us. Rapture's tomorrow. Rapture's tomorrow. It's
I love it. Okay. So I like him a lot. I like when he dresses up like a clown and does this. All right. So, okay. So here I wanted to, see here. Okay. So we'll watch this one real fast. This one was just sent to
Damn
me.
you Jews! I was eating Cheerios this morning and I had one that wasn't a perfect circle. It's the fucking Jews trying to...
Okay, so he's being, obviously, folks, he's being satirical here. He's making fun of anti-Semitic people and the kind of logic they use when it comes to bashing Jewish people, okay, and being racist against Jewish people. So again, folks, just for clarity here, this is him making fun of people who are anti-Semitic, okay? All right, okay? I know I kind of, yeah, a bit out of context here, but this is him being anti-Semitic, okay?
Damn you
right.
Jews! I was eating Cheerios this morning and I had one that wasn't a perfect circle. It's the fucking Jews trying to brainwash me again. Man, my cat went to use the litter box but just pissed outside of it. The Jews came in here in the middle of the night, burglarized my cat's bladder, and changed the trajectory of its pee to my floor. Jews, why?
You know, honestly, though, 100%, that is how a lot of fascists do react to any problem, like the Nazis, like any problem in society. Blame it on less than 1% of the population. Blame it on Jewish folks. Like you woke up and your neck was hurting, it's the Jews' fault. The prices at the grocery store went up, it's the Jews' fault. Like that. I mean, I'm not even really exaggerating here. If you read old Nazi documents, everything is the fault of the Jews. Okay, like my tooth hurts. Oh, it must be a Jewish person. Okay, like insane.
Damn you Jews!
Okay, that is funny.
I was eating Cheerios this morning and I had one that wasn't a perfect circle. It's the fucking Jews trying.
There you go. Okay, that's hilarious. It is accurate, London. Thank you for sending me that. Okay, let's. I'm just going to say there's a few other things here.
Girls' education leads to women's inclusion, inclusion in policy making, inclusion in health and justice.
I don't know
systems.
what I'm watching here. Give me 1 second.
I'm sure it's out.
Okay, you know what? Let's do. All right. Thought I had something else here. Oh, okay. So I wanted to show you all this. Meowzord sent this to me. We talked a while back about Unit 731. Okay, Unit 731, which was a unit in the Japanese military during World War II that committed horrific crimes, absolutely horrific crimes. If you can go back and look at that live stream if you want more details on it about Imperial Japan's war crimes. And it often doesn't get talked about a lot, okay? Now, this is a movie from China that is coming out about Unit 731. I suspect part of it is meant as propaganda against the Japanese, but it did happen, okay? Thank you, Joshua. Yes, I actually say that in the live stream, Joshua. Don't look up images of 731 unless you are prepared to be traumatized, like seriously. And it was a real thing that happened. They did human experiments on people. Right, I knew you would, Resident Union Thug. You'd immediately look them up. And it's not talked about a lot in history classes in the U.S., the horrific crimes committed by the Japanese government during World War II. So this is a trailer for a movie coming out in China about Unit 731. Now, I suspect, like I said, it's partially out there to stoke some tensions with Japan, but it is true that this happened, and I haven't actually watched the full thing yet. It does look a little cheesy, but just as a thought for people who were here during that stream, and for those that are interested in history, let's watch it, okay, and see what this Chinese movie is showing us about Unit 731. Pure Victorian.
天皇亲善，食物宝贵，真相换取自由。
你是靠装傻才活到现在的吗？
Oh, really, David? Fascinating.
也给了当地我们，这里的人都相信仅靠换取自由。
Yeah. Oh, that's sad. Yep. Yeah, they actually, so the Japanese military, in all their records of this thing, they referred to the Chinese people as logs, like pieces of wood, in an effort to dehumanize them. So they'd be like, oh, there were 12 logs executed today. We chopped up 12 logs, like real gross stuff. Okay, so that is the Unit 731 trailer for that. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if it'll be released in the US, but I just thought it was interesting. I don't know if I'd want to see a movie about it. It's pretty horrifying. I know enough about it, but just for anyone who's interested. What I'm going to do now, folks, is Trump gave a speech today in front of the UN. I know Alan mentioned this to me, and so did Toya.
Better durability, better value.
So let's react to that real fast here. Trump. UN, okay. Streamed 4 hours ago. Okay. We won't watch the whole thing, by the way. We'll go through as much of it as we can stomach. All right. Oh, I got you, David. Okay. I got you, David. Interesting. Absolutely, Joshua. And that dehumanizing language is classic in fascist regimes.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm already annoyed.
And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working.
Why even mention that? By the way, for the Americans in here, I'm not trying to rub it in, Americans, but this is like the world stage. And he is just humiliating all of us. Thank you, Robert. Good point. I'm sure it was, Toya. I bet Lula had a great speech.
I feel very happy to be up here with you, nevertheless. And that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
Sorry, Trump, you can't use your authoritarian intimidation tactics on the international community. Well, I guess you can, but he does, doesn't he, Louise? SoCal, right?
Hello, Madam First Lady.
You're right, Kimberly. He did criticize Biden for using the teleprompter. Hilarious.
Thank you very much for being here. And Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, First Lady of the United States, distinguished delegates, ambassadors, and world leaders. 6 years have passed since I last stood in this grand hall and addressed a world that was prosperous and at peace in my first term. Since that day, the guns of war have shattered the peace I forged on 2 continents. An era of calm and stability gave way to one of the great crises of...
So admittedly, he's reading from a script. He keeps looking down. So even though he's like, I'm going to speak from the heart, and then immediately looks down and starts reading from a script.
Of our time. And here in the United States, 4 years of weakness, lawlessness, and radicalism under the last administration delivered our nation into a repeated set of disasters. 1 year ago, our country was in deep trouble. But today, just 8 months into my administration,
and true, Louise,
we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close. America is blessed with the strongest economy.
Right, insert name. If anything, it's the opposite insert name. He owes those other countries something because he's done nothing but diminish America's reputation in the world. But that's a good point, Kimberly. He doesn't have a heart to speak from to begin with.
Strongest borders, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation on the face of the earth. This is indeed the golden age of America. We are rapidly reversing the economic calamity we inherited from the previous administration, including ruinous price increases and record-setting inflation.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like his tariffs and stuff have, I mean, a lot of this stuff has done horrible damage to rural Americans, too.
Never had before. Under my leadership, energy costs are down, Gasoline prices are down. Grocery prices are down. Mortgage rates are down. And inflation has been defeated.
And unemployment is up. Okay, unemployment is up. And it doesn't feel like grocery prices are down for sure. And gas prices are still high. And wealth inequality is skyrocketing. And the economy is like, I don't know, a goddamn ping pong machine. So what am I snacking on, Matt Saiga? I know I should be a Belvita sandwich, just because I got hungry. I know if I'm too loud, I apologize. Yeah, totally, Joshua. Okay. Oh, Kimberly, I'm sure Melania does know he's full of shit, right? It is. Oh my God, look at that face. Look at that rage in Melania's face. Yeah, she looks disgusted. I can't say I blame her. Okay.
The only thing that's up is the stock market, which just hit a record high. In fact, it hit a record high 48 times in the last short period of time. Growth is surging. Manufacturing is booming. The stock market, as I said, is doing better than it's ever done.
Sammy Lammy.
And all of you in this room benefit by that, almost everybody. And importantly, workers' wages are rising at the fastest pace in more than 60 years. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? In 4 years of President Biden, we had less than $1 trillion of new investment into the United States. In just 8 months since I took office, we have secured commitments and money already paid for $17 trillion. Think of it, 4 years, less than $1 trillion, 8 months.
Sammy Lammy, 5%.
Much more than $17 trillion.
Or I'm sorry, like 4.5%.
Is being invested in the United States, and it's now pouring in from all parts of the world. We've implemented the largest tax cuts in American history and the largest regulation cuts in American history, making this once and again the best country on earth to do business. And many of the people in this room are investing in America, and it's turned out to be an awfully good investment during this 8-month period. In my first term, I built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had the best economy ever, history of the world. And I'm doing the same thing again, but this time it's actually much bigger and even better. The numbers far surpass my record-setting first term. On our southern border, we have successfully repelled a colossal invasion. And for the last 4 months, and that's 4 months in a row, the number of illegal aliens admitted and entering our country has been zero.
So Sammy Lammy, that's a really good point. Yeah, it is higher in Sweden, Sammy Lammy. That being said, our unemployment numbers are very inaccurate, okay? It doesn't include people who are underemployed, so are having to work part-time and not survive off of that and things like that. And there are a lot more people in the U.S. who are underemployed or have like higher education but are working part-time jobs or are working in jobs that don't provide enough for them to survive. So it's kind of a it's more complicated than that. But you're right, though, Sammy Lammy. Okay. And also, Sammy Lammy, we don't have universal health care for those people to survive off of while they're unemployed and things like that.
I believe, because if you look back just
stagflation.
A year ago, it was millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, from prisons, from mental institutions, drug dealers. All over the world they came. They just poured into our country.
Thank you, Ramos, and Shavon, for
ridiculous
following.
open border policy of the Biden administration. Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means? I want to thank the country.
What does that mean? I mean, I know you've been randomly sending people into countries they don't even have any relationship to in a blatant violation of international law, and also deeply immoral. Correct, Sammy Lammy. King Alo, or Alan here says, no one has corrected him about asylum seekers not being from mental health asylums. You're totally right, Alan. Alan, you're the one who introduced this idea to me, folks. When he says that they're emptying people from mental asylums, do we think he's just a moron and he literally thinks that asylum seekers are people from mental asylums? Because I would bet money, I would put money on the fact that he literally thinks that asylum seekers are mental asylum patients being released into the country. Like, he is dumb enough for that. and his obsession with like the releasing people from asylums. He probably was told, "Hey, there's an increase of asylum seekers," and he's like, "Oh my God, they're emptying the asylums into our country." I would not be surprised at all if that were true. Yeah, you're right, Trump. And Trump failed. They also adjust the numbers. Okay, they keep adjusting the numbers down for a lot of those. SoCal emptying people from mental asylums, so people were allowed to leave Mar-a-Lago. I know, right, Drusilla? Like, but I don't know that for a fact, but I would not be surprised. Remember, this is the guy who asked his administration if they could nuke a hurricane to stop the hurricane from hitting the U.S., who claimed that the sound of windmills cause cancer, oh my God, who during that one speech was talking about how he had learned the day before that grass was a living thing. Like, yeah, like not the brightest bulb in the bunch, okay?
Of El Salvador for the successful and professional job they've done in receiving and jailing so many criminals that entered our country.
Oh, Joshua, look it up. Trump asked his advisors if they could nuke a hurricane, and they had to say to him, "Mr. President, you can't really nuke a hurricane. It'll spread the radiation all over the United States." Right, Joshua? Oh, I know, right, Joshua? It's like it's very American mindset. Oh, there's a problem. Why? Well, can we bomb it? Can we just bomb the problem and make it go away?
And it was under the previous administration that the number became record-setting, and they're all being taken out. We have no choice, and other countries have no choice because other countries are in the exact same situation.
Gate, forgive me. This is great. SoCal, you're right. There was Sharpie Gate, where he had a map of where the hurricane was going to be hitting, and someone had taken a Sharpie and added more to it, and it was probably him because he had previously made a mistake, and he wanted to make it look like he didn't make a mistake, so he literally drew Sharpie on this board in order to make it appear like the hurricane was going where it wasn't because he was wrong about it. Yeah, didn't know what a baby stroller was. Okay. Yeah, the auto pen, right, King Alo? Okay.
With immigration, it's destroying your country.
Right, Mango?
And you have to do something about it. On the world stage, America is respected again like it has never been respected before. You think about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or 1 year ago.
Robert, right?
We were a laughingstock all over the world. At the NATO summit in June, virtually all NATO members formally committed to increase defense spending at my request,
resident union thug,
from 2% to 5% of GDP, making our alliance far stronger and more powerful than it was ever before. In May, I traveled to the Middle East to visit my friends and rebuild our partnerships in the Gulf and those valued.
So, for the Europeans in chat, what do you feel about that? Do you feel that America's alliance with Europe is stronger than it was ever before? What do you all think about that? Let's hear what you think. Thank you, Mithril. Okay, Mithril already got it. Thank you, Mithril. You already got it. Okay, it really isn't respected. I can assure you. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Not at all. Right. Anyway, I just love the blatant lying here. It's like you realize that we can talk to Europeans. We know exactly, Louise. Right. So I just love this. We're more respected. Our alliance is stronger. Nope. Not at all.
Relationships with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE and other countries are now, I believe, closer than ever before. My administration has negotiated one historic trade deal after another, including with the United Kingdom, the European Union, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, and many, many others. Likewise, in a period of just 7 months, I have ended 7 unendable wars. They said they were unendable. You're never going to get them solved. Some were going for 31 years. 2 of them, 31. Think of it, 31 years. One was 36 years.
Do you remember when he said he would end the war in Ukraine on day one? On day one, I'll end the war in Ukraine. How did that work? How did that work out?
It was 28 years. I ended 7 wars.
Oh my God, this again?
In all cases, they were raging with.
And is actively funding a genocide and actively allowing a genocide to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get to brag about any wars, which he did not end, by the way, if you're still actively supporting a genocide.
Countless thousands of people being killed.
Yeah, it is complete bullcrap,
Cambodia
Josh.
and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, The Congo and Rwanda, a vicious, violent war that was. Pakistan and India.
Of course, he has to refer to the black people as, that vicious and violent war, right? I don't know why he needs to add that on there. Aren't all wars vicious and violent? Right? You're so right, Alan, right? He needs to start more wars so that he has more to end. Right, Robert, you ended 11 wars in your, as in your sleep. Yeah, you're right, Trump failed. Yeah, they're increasing their GDP, the GDP they're putting into the military because they're worried America won't stand up for them if war comes to NATO. Yeah. Right, insert name. How dare you not praise the dear leader? I know I'm Antifa apparently, right? Okay.
Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, and Armenia and Azerbaijan. It included all of them. No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that.
Timberlake.
And I did it in just 7 months. It's never happened before. There's never been anything like that.
Shut
I'm very
up.
honored to have done it. It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them.
100%, Joshua.
And
I would
sadly,
see
in
that
all
happening.
cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them. I ended.
Oh, really? The UN has not tried to help in any of them. That's funny. You know what the UN just did? They just passed a resolution condemning the genocide in Israel, okay, in Gaza, and so they tried to help. They're trying to help, but what did America do? Definitely voted against it. Okay, I mean, okay.
7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help.
Shocking, SoCal, that he did.
Finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But
oh no! Oh, my pearls! Melania almost fell on the escalator. Oh my God! Oh.
She's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the two.
Notice she's always talking about how great a shape he's in because Trump can't help but say things that are that he is self-conscious about. So he's always talking about how big this is a big bill, very big. It's a big deal. We're very big. I wonder what he's trying to compensate for there. And then, of course, very healthy. I'm very fit. Melania and I are very fit. My doctor says we're very fit. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I wonder what you're compensating for there, Trump. I'm very smart. I'm a very stable genius. Those were exact words he said, folks. Exact words. I'm a very stable genius. What are you trying to compensate for there, Trump?
Things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much. And by the way, it's working now. It just went on. Thank you. I think I should just do it the other way. It's easier. Thank you very much. I didn't think of it at the time because I was too busy working to save millions of lives. That is the saving and stopping of these wars. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact, not during.
Yeah, and we haven't been there for the world. Literally, we haven't been there for the whole world. We've only been about America. Okay.
During these negotiations, which were not easy. That being the case, what is the purpose of the United Nations?
Oh, I agree, right? I agree. I wish the members of the UN here would just walk out. That would be a good... yeah, I agree. I've heard it looks like a wrinkly one. Possibly, Drusilla, okay. Yeah, the UN is full of radical leftist Antifa, okay? You're absolutely, Joshua. He got through prestigious school with his daddy's money, 100%. Hello, Winterlinde. Welcome. We're just watching the baboon give his speech, okay, at the UN.
The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living.
I know,
up to
right,
that
Joshua?
potential.
Yeah, folks, just for those who are watching, just realize these are all lies. Like, I don't even have the energy to cover all the lies here. Just assume it's a lie.
For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. The only thing that solves war and wars is action. Now, after ending all of these wars and also earlier negotiating the Abraham Accords, which is a very big thing for which our country received no
very big thing
credit, never received.
You're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't offend baboons. You're right, Drusilla. My apologies. They're much more mentally competent and stuff than Trump is. Yeah, Trump failed. This is like a guy coming into your work and telling about how great he is and how everybody else sucks without him, right? Okay. Okay.
Credit. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace
Louise, I love that. You know when he's lying, he opens his mouth, right?
Prize
yeah.
for each one of these achievements. But for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with their mothers and fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed in endless and unglorious
you're right. 100%
wars.
right.
What I care about is not when.
Okay, Resident Union Thug, you're after my heart here. Sorry I keep pausing it, folks, but Resident Union Thug says he emphasized the importance of action. Sounds like Umberto Eco's paper. Yes, one of the main tenets of fascism, action for action's sake. He's always we're taking action, we're doing a lot, okay?
Prize is at saving lives. We saved millions and millions of lives with the 7 wars. And we have others that we're working on, and you know that. Many years ago, a very successful real estate developer in New York, known as Donald J. Trump, I bid on the renovation and rebuilding of this very
This is humiliating,
United
absolutely
Nations
humiliating.
complex. I remember it so well. I said at the time that I would do it for $500 million, rebuilding everything. It'd be beautiful. I used to talk about, I'm going to give you marble floors. They're going to give you terrazzo. I'm going to give you the best of everything. You're going to have mahogany walls. They're going to give you plastic. But they decided to go in another direction, which was much more expensive at the time, and which actually produced a far inferior product.
Remember, folks, that I think it was his father and him attempted to segregate their housing. They refused to let black people into their apartment complexes. Just a side note there.
And I realized that they did not know what they were doing when it came to construction, and that their building concepts were so wrong, and the product that they were proposing to build was so bad and so costly. It was going to cost them a fortune. And I said, and wait till you see the overruns. Well, I turned out to be right. They had massive cost overruns and spent between $2 and $4 billion on the building.
I won't say what you said out loud,
Priscilla,
but I agree.
You walk on terrazzo. Do you notice that? As far as I'm concerned,
Kimberly,
frankly,
I love that little emoji.
Getting stuck on the escalator. They still haven't finished the job. They still haven't finished. That was years ago.
That's right, SoCal.
The project was so corrupt that Congress actually asked me to testify before them on the tremendous waste of money, because it turned out that they had no idea what it was.
Me
but
too,
they knew
Kimberly.
It was anywhere between $2 and $4 billion, as opposed to $500 million with a guarantee.
Would he shut up?
Why
are we hearing about his past bankruptcies?
Unfortunately, many things in the United Nations are happening just like that, but on an even much bigger scale, much, much bigger. Very sad to see whether the UN can manage to play.
Not the whole thing, Josh. I'm only going to watch a little bit of it.
Play a productive role. I've come here today to offer the hand of American leadership and friendship to any nation in this assembly that is willing to join us in forging a safer,
Joshua, I'm sorry,
more prosperous world. And it's a world that we'll be much happier with. A dramatically better future is within our reach. But to get there, we must reject the failed approaches of the past and work together
nose
to
look like
confront
that, like
some
you
of
just
the
went.
greatest.
Alan, would you tell me when does it get really crazy? Now, folks, I know it's already insane, but Alan says that it escalates. So, Alan, if you don't mind, would you maybe take a look and find a timestamp of where you think it kind of goes even loonier? Because this is a circus, right? Mango, what is this about? Speech even supposed to be about? I feel like he's just trying to fill as much. Oh, of course. Thank you, Alan. Okay.
Threats in history. There is no more serious danger to our planet today than the most powerful and destructive weapons ever devised by man, of which the United States, as you know, has many. Just as I did in my first term, I've made containing these threats a top priority, starting with the nation of Iran. My position is very simple. The world's #1 sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon.
By the way, folks, Winter Linde actually sent me a video a while back about a German comedian. And let me ask you all, the idea that Iran is the world's #1 sponsor in terrorism, okay? The United States has, over many, many years, bombed the shit out of anyone that disagrees with them, done extrajudicial drone strikes on other countries, supported far right-wing groups in overthrowing democracies, engaged in illicit arms deals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, are we counting when we say that Iran is the greatest terrorist threat? Are we counter? Yep, we absolutely did, Joshua. We did. We also sponsored terrorists in other countries too. Who is the world's biggest terrorist as a state? Yep, us. Okay. I mean, that is undeniable. I don't like. Now, obviously, how we define terrorism allows us to get around that. I did, Winterlinde. I did. It was fantastic. Okay. Like, we have done more terrorism, Robert, even greater than the left. So, okay, just a note. Yeah, okay. I don't worry, folks. We will. We're gonna not watch this whole thing. Just let's watch a few more minutes of it. Alan's gonna tell us where it gets crazy.
Shortly after taking office, I sent the so-called Supreme Leader a letter making a...
Oh, Matt Saigai. Matt Saigai, you're after my heart here. Let me define it for you, CR. You need to be brown-skinned. 100%, Matt Saigai. 100%, okay? If you're brown-skinned, you're a terrorist, according to the United States government. Yeah, right, Joshua. Spreading democracy like what they do in Helldivers, okay? Like, I can't even, like, oh.
Generous offer. I extended a pledge of full cooperation in exchange for a suspension of Iran's nuclear program. The regime's answer was to continue their constant threats to their neighbors and U.S. interests throughout the region.
Yeah, I wonder why Iran would be so upset by us bombing them that they would start threatening us and hating us and things like that. I wonder why us constantly bombing them, threatening to bomb them, talking about overthrowing their government, and we actually did overthrow their government when we removed Mossadegh and installed the Shah under the CIA. I wonder why Iran might be feeling a certain way. Surely it's not our fault, right? Surely we didn't do anything that might make other human beings not like us very much. Okay.
And some great countries that are right nearby. Today, many of Iran's former military commanders, in fact, I can say almost all of them, are no longer with us. They're dead. And 3 months ago, in Operation Midnight...
Oh, yes. Oh, you're Elliot. You're right. If only we had a nuclear agreement with Iran, which Trump pulled us out of during his first administration.
Hammer. 7 American B-2 bombers dropped, the 14 30,000-pound each bombs.
So, Cal, Trump smells worse than that, though, I'm sure.
On Iran's key nuclear facilities, totally obliterating everything. No other country on earth could have done what we did. No other country has the equipment to do what we did. We have the greatest weapons on earth. We hate to use them. But we did something that for 22 years people wanted to do. With Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity demolished, I immediately brokered an end to the 12-day war, as it's called, between Israel and Iran, with both sides agreeing to fight no longer.
Right, Michael.
As everyone knows, I have also been deeply engaged in seeking a ceasefire in Gaza. Have to get that done.
Okay, thank you. So we'll do that. So I'll go to 34. So I'm just going to skip some of this, folks. I'm just going to go to 34, which apparently Alan has recommended we go to. So we'll go there, where I guess he brags. Alan says that he brags about war crimes and then rants about climate change. Okay, so here we go.
To destroy Venezuelan terrorists and trafficking networks led by Nicolas Maduro. Every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America.
Yeah, by illegally murdering people on the high seas in a violation of definitely war crimes. Okay, illegal. Okay, oh, absolutely, Joshua. Not to mention, Joshua. So Joshua says, we don't hate to use our weapons. I'm sure many people in the DoD are giddy about using their new big pew-pews. Oh, Joshua, of course they are. So are the military industrialists who have donated to the politicians that then buy those weapons. So everyone's getting out on top in this. You bribe the politicians, you bribe Trump, you bribe Congress. They then buy tons of weapons and start wars to use those weapons. So then they have to buy more. Okay, it's a lovely literally everyone, it's like a lovely little economy going of profiting off of mass death and suffering.
America, please be warned that we will blow you out of existence. That's what we're doing. We have no choice.
We will blow you out of
Can't
existence.
let it happen. They're destroying. I believe we lost 300,000 people last year to drugs. 300,000. Fentanyl and other drugs.
Oh, Louise, good point. Michael, you mean the Department of War, okay? Department of War. My mistake. I'm sorry. I mean Department of War, okay? You're right.
Each boat that we sink carries drugs that would kill more than 25,000 Americans. We will not let that happen. Energy is another area where the United States is now thriving like never before. We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way, they're a joke. They don't work. They're too expensive. They're not strong enough to fire up the plants that you need to make your country great. The wind doesn't blow. Those big windmills are so pathetic and so bad. So
the windmills are pathetic and so bad. What is he?
Expensive to operate, and they have to be rebuilt all the time. And they start to rust and rot. Most expensive energy ever conceived, and it's actually energy. You're supposed to make money with energy, not lose money. You lose money, the governments have to subsidize. You can't put them out without massive subsidies. Joshua. And most of them are built in.
Drill, baby, drill, right? Drill, baby, drill. Who cares that the world is going to become uninhabitable? Who cares? Who cares? Right? We, those windmills, they look bad and they're inefficient and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let everyone in the world suffer and die because we just love our oil. Wee-how! Drill, baby, drill.
China, and I give China a lot of credit. They build them, but they have very few wind farms. So why is it that they build them and they send them all over the world, but they barely use them? You know what they use? Coal. They use gas. They use almost anything, but they don't like wind. But they sure as hell like selling the windmills. Europe, on the other hand, has a long way to go, with many countries being on the brink of destruction because of the green energy agenda.
The Chinese delegation here is just like, yeah, okay, yeah, right, SoCal, yeah.
I give a lot of credit to Germany.
Yeah, and that's also not true. Windmill does have windmills. I mean, China does have windmills, obviously. Okay. Okay, lie, just pure
Germany
lies.
is being led down a very sick path.
Germany, Winter Linde, I guess all of you over there in Germany were being led down a very sick path because of purchasing windmills and other renewable energies. Shame on you, Winter Linde, over there.
On immigration, by the way, and on energy. They were going green, and they were going bankrupt.
Right, Winter Linde?
New leadership came in, and they went back to where they were, with fossil fuel and with nuclear, which is good. It's now safe, and you can do it properly. But they went back to where they were, and they opened up a lot of different plants, energy-producing plants, and they're doing well. I give Germany a lot of credit for that. They've said this is a disaster, what's happening. They were going all green. All green is all bankrupt. That's what it represents. And it's not politically correct. I'll be very badly criticized for saying it, but I'm here to tell the truth. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm in New York City. I'm feeling a lot safer. Crime, we're getting crime down. And by the way,
right,
crime,
Michael?
Washington, D.C. was the crime capital of America. Now
right,
it's totally after 12 days.
But Winter Linde, that's still too much for him, right? Because you all need to go back to pure, good old-fashioned fossil fuels, right? Because anyway, that's what just complete lies on his part. Okay.
It's a totally safe city. Everyone's going out to dinner. They're going out to restaurants. Your wife can walk down the middle of the street with or without you. Nothing's going to happen.
I don't know if this wife is walking down the middle of the street in D.C. If Trump is in D.C., I don't know if she's safe. Given his Epstein files and the fact that he's a sexual predator, and a lot of people in his administration are. Oh, absolutely, Alan. Okay, yeah. Oh, Mithril. Yes. Oh, that's another. Thank you, Mithril, for reminding me, folks. Just another illustration of how dumb Donald Trump is. Literally one of the dumbest people on the planet. He thought that the phrase "clean." Sorry, I got cut out. My mistake. So, did everyone hear what I said here? He thought that when you say that the phrase "clean coal" literally meant that you take coal out of the ground and clean it. Okay, he literally thought that's what clean coal meant, was that you clean the coal. You like take a toothbrush or some shit and like clean it off. Anyway. Yeah, right, Louise? Gaia, burn, baby, burn, right? Let's destroy the planet. Why not? Why not? Who cares? It's not like we live here. It's not like humanity relies. It's not like we evolved to thrive on this planet. It's okay, Toy. We'll stop here in a couple minutes. Don't worry. So, folks, 2 more minutes. Yeah, seriously, Drizzy, he thought that clean coal was literally coal that you clean. I'm not even joking. Yeah, right. And he tried to inject. He said that maybe we can do something where we inject bleach into the body. Like, okay. Yep, you're right, Elliot. They cut screenings for Black Lung. Folks, we're going to watch 2 more minutes of this, and then I will spare all of you the suffering, okay? I'm all right.
My people have done a fantastic
You're
job.
right,
Yes,
at least
I
the
called in
Rapture's
National
here.
Guard, and the National Guard took care of business, and they weren't politically correct, but they took care of business. We got 1,700 career criminals out, brought them back to where they came from, the countries where they came from, or put them in jails. Washington, D.C.
Says
is now
one of the most criminal, saying that we're getting rid of criminals, says one of the men from one of the most criminal organizations in history who has been impeached, what, 2 or 3 times? 3 times? I have lost track. And who has been found guilty of other crimes, and many of the people in his cabinet have been found guilty of crimes.
a totally safe city again. And I welcome you to come.
You're
In fact,
right,
we'll have dinner
SoCal. He
together
did
at a local
stare into
restaurant,
the solar eclipse.
and we'll be able to walk. We don't have to go by an armor-plated vehicle. We'll walk right over there from the White House. They've given up their powerful edge, a lot of the countries that we're talking about, in oil and gas, such as essentially closing the great North Sea oil. Oh, the North Sea, I know it so well. Aberdeen was the oil capital of Europe, and there's tremendous oil that hasn't been found in the North
Aberdeen
Sea.
out of your mouth.
Tremendous oil. And I was with the Prime Minister I respect and like a lot, and I said, you're sitting with the greatest asset. They essentially closed it by making it so highly taxed that no developer, no oil company can go there. They have tremendous oil left, and more importantly, they have tremendous oil that hasn't even been found yet. And what a tremendous asset for the United Kingdom. And I hope the Prime Minister is listening, because I told it to him 3 days in a row. That's all he heard. North Sea oil, North Sea, because I want to see them do well. I want to stop seeing them ruining that beautiful Scottish and English countryside.
Shut up.
With windmills.
He just doesn't want, first of all, he just doesn't want windmills in Aberdeen or whatever because of his golf courses, okay? He doesn't care about Scotland. He doesn't care about the UK. He doesn't care about any of that shit. It's all personal interest, right?
And massive solar panels that go 7 miles by 7 miles, taking away farmland. But we're not letting this happen in America.
You're
In
right, Winterlinde.
1982, the executive director of the United Nations Environmental Program predicted that by the year 2000,
Yeah, leave the UK and Aberdeen out of your filthy goddamn mouth, okay?
Was a global catastrophe. He said that it will be irreversible, as any nuclear holocaust would be. This is what they said at the United Nations. What happened? Here we are. Another UN official stated in 1989 that within a decade, entire nations could be wiped off the map by global warming. Not happening. You know,
oh, really?
Global cooling.
It's not okay.
Years ago, in the 1920s and the 1930s, they said, global cooling will kill the world. We have to do something. Then they said, global warming will kill the world. But
okay, folks. I'm going to pause it there. I think I personally feel like I've had enough. How is everyone else feeling out there? Have we all had enough? I feel I've had enough. But if people are and want to keep watching it, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to be authoritarian about it. I don't want to watch it anymore. Okay, so you can look it up yourself if you want to waste your time. Okay. You're right, Louise. I can't even. Thank God. Okay. Oh, that's relaxing. The silence is great. Okay. So I'm going to put my face back up here. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. It's good to be dressed like a jester hearing this clown talk. Right. I don't know. You're right, Robert. He's obsessed with windmills. Absolutely obsessed with windmills. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know. He just hates windmills. Okay. All right, folks. So I have now been streaming for nearly 2.5 hours. So I'm going to be getting off. I will say this, folks. If you like the stream, you can become a member for as little as 99 cents a month. And you'll get access to cute little emojis, etc. You can also become a member over on Patreon for $5 a month. Or you could subscribe on Twitch, which is linked at the top of the page, or I guess it's not, but you can go over on Twitch. He did. He did say that. He said that Trump failed. He said that Russian jets should be shot down for violating airspace. Oh, good. Trump failed. Good. I'm so excited for the nuclear war about to break out. Okay. Resident Union Thug, I am actually wouldn't be surprised. Windmills have a very phallic shape, do they not? And I think Trump doesn't like that because it reminds him of a personal problem. He has anything that's too large and phallic shaped makes him very self-conscious for some reason. Yeah, no, Winterlinda, yeah, how Mary Trump changes his voice when she plays clips from him talking. Maybe I should do that, Winterlinda. That'd be kind of fun. Okay. Well, all right, folks. Thank you for everyone who donated today. You can also donate me exactly, toy. Yeah, Napoleon contact 100%. But hey, admittedly though, Napoleon wasn't actually that short. But in this case, I think Trump is very short. Okay. Or has a very well. We don't want to go into that. Okay. All right. So guys, you can also, by the way, support me by sending me a buy me a coffee, which is also linked in the video description. Thank you everyone who did support me today. And on that note, folks, okay, I'm going to get off for today. So you all know what's coming. Thank you all for stopping by. You all know what's coming here. Have a great rapture. Okay. Hopefully hopefully that'll just leave us non-massively religious people on Earth, which I think will improve things for all of us. Anyway, okay. All right, folks. Here we go. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Second of all, never stop resisting. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. That includes when you watch me. I am a human. I am not perfect. I make mistakes. Do not get caught in an information silo. See what other people are saying, because the easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. Secondly, here, we are currently living in a fascist moment in this country, not only here, but in other countries around the world. Fascism thrives in an environment where people have lost faith in their democratic institutions, okay? We need major reforms in this country, major reforms. And we cannot stand in the center. If you stand in the center, the fascists will walk all over you. We need major reforms, and we need them now. Okay, use nonviolent resistance. Do whatever you can, especially if you're an American, to push back against this authoritarian fascist regime. On the wall behind me. On the wall behind me is a sword. The name of that sword is Chainbreaker. Chainbreaker has been passed down in my family over generations. It is rumored to have been responsible for the death of 7 slave owners. Why do I have it back there? I have it back there to remind everyone that our ancestors have made major sacrifices for some of the things we have today, not only here, but around the world. We cannot let their I do have a Jesus photo back there, Matt Sagai, okay, for the sake of the rapture. We cannot let their sacrifice go to waste, folks. Please do not let their sacrifice go to waste, and always fight for a better future. And on that note, folks, you have a good morning, evening, night, day, afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Have a good one.